What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee.
And I'm Albert Albanese.
And today, welcome, everybody. Back again. It's been a while, huh, buddy?
Yeah. A couple of weeks have been, I had off from work and, off from everything else, so I feel like making the drive, to be honest.
Understood. Back again. It's been a while.
Before and all that good kind of junk. There was a whole bunch of other stuff, so,
I don't know why it comes up. Yeah. Going to be a little bit early because I'm going to have to go a little bit early.
Right.
But,
oh, by the way, I have a YouTube channel now, guys. You guys asked for it, and I delivered. It's Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm still
doing Facebook.
Facebook. It's YouTube. It's just search the Slam Sessions on YouTube, and I'm there. So listen to me, guys, and thank you to the couple of you who actually watched my first live stream last week, which is very nice.
What's up, TJ Fritz? What's up, True Sinister? Steven, what's going on? Ben Dover, funny name, very good. Degenerate, yo. Joshua A, what up? True Sinister, Tim Castillo. Everybody being nice. Hey, Razor Blade, what is going on? Why are you doing a live stream before Raw? Well, like I said, I
could just do that, and then I probably won't even do my list.
Oh, wait, I forgot they're going, but never mind.
What do you mean?
I forgot, you can't use talk because what's his face is in there.
Gotcha.
But anyway.
Can I just hang in here then?
I guess so.
And then I'll do my late show, and I'll just do that, and we'll just call it a wrap.
All right. Yeah, we'll figure it
Sorry,
out.
we're just, we're just...
CAWF, yeah, we'll figure this out later.
Yeah.
CAWF Network, what's going on? Go back to your new podcast, Albert.
I will, but hopefully you follow. Oh, look at that. Did you hear that? That was good.
Hey, what's going on, Super Ermac? Ermac, any reference to Ermac, I think is pretty cool.
Underappreciated.
Yeah. Vinny Montana. Vinny, we need an intervention, all right? You need to quit this negative behavior. All right.
Josh, thank you for subscribing. My first live stream was actually earlier late last week, but you can hang out for my second live stream.
And thank you for a thumbs up. And why? Okay, never mind. At 7 p.m. Yeah, and no, I did not see Fighting with my family yet.
I do plan on going. My girlfriend is, kind of slipping on the notion that I'm gonna make her go see it. So. Well, a new movie theater just opened up in Staten Island. It's an AMC theater.
Nice.
In the mall. So I kind of want to just take take it.
Johnny Gargano is gifted. He's a very talented wrestler. That is true.
I agree.
Hey, Dave, do you hope that Raw...
Good God, TJ!
That should be enjoyable today? Maybe. I think, Rich. Yeah, wow, TJ.
That's harsh.
Yes, you can call Albert A-Train as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if he's going to enjoy it, but...
You on here, sure. I guess. Knock yourself out.
My prediction? Pain.
So Degenerate, it's the Slam Sessions. So just type that in onto YouTube and you'll find me. And TJ, thank you. You and Harry were both there on show number 1, and I appreciate you guys both. I know Harry's not here, and if he is here, I will thank him. Even though I did on Friday. I think I thanked both of you guys on Friday when I popped into your
It's amazing you didn't even tell me that you were launching. That's the odd part.
I know. It's funny. I meant to tell you that I was going to do it. It's one of those things where I just never sent the text.
Yeah, they told me. I was like, what? And I just thought they were kidding. I was like, Albert doesn't have a channel yet. You would have told me. And I was like, no.
I'm sorry.
So I found out. Yeah, I found out after everyone else did. Hey, Wesley Landon Woosa. Yes, now I know. What's up, the Woos?
What's going on?
Thoughts on WWE releases? TJ Perkins. I can't believe they really got me to call him TJP because I hated that.
I know, but yeah,
that was a big surprise to me. Because I like TJ Perkins a lot.
Yeah, so do I.
I always thought they would eventually give him another shot,
another cruiserweight title at a point. But yeah,
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to him and Murphy. Him beating the crap out of Murphy, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't. I've been hearing rumblings that they're no longer together, so you might not have as much competition.
I've been hearing that forever, right? I'll believe it when she's at my front doorstep.
Fair enough.
Hey Dave, with WWE hiring former TNA talent to work backstage and or creative, is WWE laughing at TNA saying, haha, we got all your talent to work for us? With Bruce Pritchard and WWE role will be great. I don't necessarily think so, Ben. I mean, they've been slowly but surely doing that. And truth be told, a lot of TNA's old guard has been going around elsewhere. Like, AJ has left forever ago.
Yeah.
And he was in Ring of Honor, New Japan. So a lot of that era of TNA has been gone, and they've moved somewhere else. Why WWE specifically wanted Abyss? Well, there have been rumors forever that they wanted Abyss. Abyss was supposed to go against The Undertaker at Mania years ago. So they've always been very high on him. They always liked him a lot. So I'm not surprising. It's not surprised about that.
Degenerate Vinny, it should just be just the Slam sessions. I believe that's it. I don't know if I have a...
Thank you, Joshua A.
Do I have a...
You're going to teach
Degenerate, you did find me.
Yeah, right. In the entire lifespan of this school, as far as I know, there might have been 10 females to attend. Two of which,
I had 2 in my class.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Can the Albanese audience be called the Albernacks?
I gotta come up with a catchy name like Know It All Nation for you guys.
I didn't come up with that. Maurice, he's not here. I haven't seen him in a while, but Maurice, he actually came up with that. So
I'm gonna have to find something.
So I didn't come up with that. Maurice did. Maurice Alexander, good guy. Know It All Prime. In case you guys didn't know that, whenever Maurice is here, I call him Know It All Prime. That would be the reason why. It's because he came up with it. Hey, Jesus. Is it the Slam Sessions Network?
No, it's just the Slam Sessions.
Albert, I can't find it on YouTuber.
I mean, Degenerate found it. I guess many didn't. But
I do hope that he gets. I do hope that TJ goes. Now he's a guy. Now we talk about this a lot about guys who we'd like to see in AEW. TJ's one that I would like to see go.
Sure. Yeah.
Same thing with Ty Dillinger. They actually fit. Like when people say Bray Wyatt, it's like I'm not opposed to Bray, but I don't need Bray to go. I don't need him to go there.
My thing is this: I don't think that I don't think that Bray is done in WWE yet.
I don't think so either.
And I think that I'm not saying that they're going to do anything great with him, but I just don't think he's done in WWE yet. And I'm also look, I've covered this a couple of times. I'm not subscribing to this idea that we have to have every single person that may have had a struggle in WWE leave and just go somewhere else.
And I don't want that because that's TNA syndrome.
Right. And go back further, it was WCW syndrome as well.
It was, but here's the thing. You know what I think is funny that I've kind of noticed now that's been that I've been on.
Thanks, Vinny.
Is that people keep saying, how can AEW avoid being WCW? I don't think they need to because, look, I think the idea of avoiding being WCW is the idea of the way they went out. But you got to remember, for 83 weeks, WCW kicked the crap out of WWE. Don't forget that. People talk about WCW a lot like they went out of business. Would they have? Probably. But there was a merger, and their sale was part of the acquisition.
Right, they were a casualty.
Deal.
Right, they were a casualty.
It was not that they went out of business. The ECW went out of business.
Right, ECW ran out of money and went out of business. And in all honesty,
that's the difference. WCW to this date is still since WWF's rise to the #1 spot, WCW is still the only company that has ever dethroned them. Ever.
Right.
So when people say avoid being WCW, why? Like, really, whatever, why should they? Like, avoid being TNA, I get that one. Trust me, I understand. But they are still in business, and they have lasted longer than
WCW has, and nobody gives them as much credit. It is the Slam Sessions on YouTube. It should be, if you just search for it, it should come right up.
But an interesting commenter made this point, which I thought was good, is that when they talk about WWE, he said one thing he wants to stress about WWE more than anything else was that WWE is a company that makes all of its money off of its own revenue. Not like all these other feds that have parent companies or deep pockets like Turner or even AEW. So is the one thing that you got to give WWE, which nobody seems to give them enough credit for, is that whatever they are making is their money. It's not daddy's money that they're playing with like other companies.
Right, it's their own money, and that's the same thing. TNA, like you said, Anthem, and WCW was Turner. AEW is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And look, I've listened to the interview with Chris Jericho and Tony Khan. He's way more knowledgeable than I thought he ever was. He's been a wrestling fan since, I think he's around our age.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
And he's been a wrestling fan as long as we have. He's gone to shows, I understand it, but at least, in my opinion, at least he has a good basis for what the show could wind up being. I'm okay with the fact that they got somebody with a lot of money who is a fan.
I'm not opposed to him being a fan or not, but I just know that being a fan doesn't mean anything. Vince McMahon's a fan of football doesn't mean squat.
Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate that.
What up, Eric Turner? Yeah. Tristan says WCW could have won. Yeah, they could have. Hell, Crockett could have won. Yeah, anybody could have won. But I just want to point out, when people talk about it in hindsight, like WCW was this colossal failure. Yeah, don't get me wrong. The last years were terrible. But I'm just saying, avoiding WCW syndrome, I don't know, seemed to have worked. But I do agree that I don't want the AEW just to turn into WWF's leftover bin.
Right. They've already, and that's where I was getting with the Tony Khan interview. He's already said, we have a lookout on a whole bunch of guys on the indie scene, and we're also not going to go out and sign everybody on the indie scene, because the WWE right now has a surplus of talent at the top, and what we'll see is that there are a lot of guys that we want to be pushed that don't get pushed, specifically because the WWE has so many guys, in the company. Only so many people can be pushed at the same time.
Right. So, people pushing for a DKW Hall of Fame. Oh, they like your shirt.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, so that's the thing. And I completely agree with that. And that's what I've been saying. The problem is WWE is now, hey, what's up, Matty Action? Singing my name.
I like it.
But yeah, so AEW, I have high hopes for it again. But there are certain guys that I don't think fit the bill. Like Randy Orton. I don't care. Randy Orton does not belong there. I'm sorry. He doesn't. There's no business being in a...
Randy Orton's a WWE guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a product of the system.
Brock Lesnar, no business in AEW.
I agree.
Brock Lesnar will get me to not watch AEW.
Yeah.
I don't care how badly Jericho wants to wrestle.
Which one of us is Marty Jannetty and which one of us is The Rock?
Marty... those are my choices, though. Marty Jannetty and The Rock? Okay, that's fine. As long as those are as long as you're not trying to snuggle me with something. It's like, if ever I have to have a bodyguard, well... then the bodyguard must be Andre, because I'm going to be DiBiase. That's how this is going to work. I am,
The $1 Million Dave?
Yeah. Dave looks uncomfortable. I'm not, but I do feel... See, when I look at it, this shoulder looks really like... But it's not. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my shoulder? I've been looking at this entire time going, that looks awkward, but I'm sitting like I always sit, so I don't know why it looks like I'm wearing a military uniform.
Apparently you're The Rock.
Good.
According to everybody. Can you not do it?
No, I'm just alternating.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, I can live with that.
I don't know how great.
Marty is a compliment. Are you kidding me? You're the better half of a tag team.
The least successful half.
No, you're the one. You're the part that carried.
You're the least successful half.
You're a more successful half in AWA.
Successful half.
The more successful AWA half.
Overall, I'm broke and homeless. And you have an action series.
But you were screwed.
No, I made a lot of bad choices and did a lot of drugs.
But that aided the other guy's career, so that can't be the reason why.
He was better at playing politics than I was.
See, that's something to be ashamed of.
Hey.
Steve is GM on Discord. Great decision, Dave. You are welcome. I hope Roman announces his retirement.
I hope he doesn't.
I don't think he will.
And Tim Castillo said the same thing. Roman's going to retire. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, the rumor is that Vince demanded he show up, and the rumor is that Vince is looking for Roman to get back in the ring for WrestleMania.
I honestly do not believe that Vince demanded that he...
Albert doesn't think so, but I will say Dean's sudden face turn is suspect. Hey, Base Up, what's going on?
Look, I do give you that.
We just started streaming Base Up. Don't you miss anything.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago. So, they did with WWE hiring former TNA talents like Jeremy Borash and Sanjay Dutt and Abyss and Bruce Pritchard. Maybe we can call them the new Impact players.
That's good. But yeah, so you were saying?
So, here's my thing. I do give you that it's suspect, but I also think that Vince and Roman have probably been in contact on at the very least a weekly basis, talking about his status and everything like that. I think that if Roman was comfortable with coming back, Vince would said, okay, that's cool.
I mean, I know not everyone likes it, but I will say the this Dean angle is funny. I do like it.
I do.
I know not everyone likes it, but
I like the interaction.
Dude, man, what were you about that?
What were you about that? What are you talking about? Man, and he just walked away. That was great.
Yeah, so I do like it. I get that not everyone's favorite of it. Road Dogg got fired. Did he really?
No. Damn it. I did not hear that at all. And
it's like, I like the Road Dogg. I just don't want him involved in creative. I just don't. Everything Kevin Owens said about Jim Cornette in creative is how I feel about Road Dogg.
Really?
I want him nowhere near it. But again, I'm a big Ryan Ward mark. Like
I know.
A big Ryan Ward mark.
No, and I agree. I think it's really hard to run SmackDown and Raw like he did NXT.
SmackDown, I think he can, and I think
SmackDown's a lot easier of an opportunity to do so.
That also reminds me, we got a comment on one of our first videos together where we talked about Cornette and Russo.
We got a comment on.
Wow, yeah, someone said,
deep dive, and I like it.
Someone said, "I really want to see how you guys squeak it a half hour out of something that's easy to answer." The answer is Cornette. How did you get a half hour on this? I responded by saying Albert is extremely stubborn. You have no idea.
And my points were valid. What the hell?
No.
Christ.
All right, let's go to that clip. Everyone, let's play a game of watch Albert get mad.
What?
I'll show you what the person wrote.
Oh, that's fine. I'm totally okay with. Look, everybody on this show criticizes me. That's fine.
Oh, but you're gonna have a response. It's not like you're not.
I always have a response.
Oh, look at that! Monday Night Raw comes up real quick.
Look, that's the first thing that comes up.
No kidding. I didn't realize that. I don't understand how this works. People are searching for it, but not everybody.
There you go. It's the thing that comes up first.
Well, I typed in Vince Russo, and it's the only time I talk about Vince Russo.
That is a horrible, horrible thing.
It's a very accurately well-deserved thing.
I completely disagree.
Cornette's not even close. Cornette is a booker. Russo is a writer.
That was a year ago.
Okay. Let's turn.
I think you got to go all the way down.
Or I could just change out.
Or yeah, you can go to the newest first. Look at that.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
I can't wait to see how you got 31 minutes out of a question that has such a simple and obvious answer. Cornette. I'm sure you cover this in the video. As usual, I'm posting right off the bat because I'm kind of neurotic. LOL. But there is simply no evidence that Russo has ever created anything even remotely good that had any positive effect on the industry, as no one has ever backed up his claims as to what he was responsible for in the WWF. Several people outright say he's lying about it. More than that, his later work proves that he's utterly talentless and never had a single good idea in his life. A McMahon filter does not suddenly turn shit to gold, meaning the good stuff came from elsewhere on the team. I would say that Russo has zero talent and zero value as a booker or writer or television.
Oh.
There's more.
There's more.
Producer or anything else. The evidence is clear because no one has ever verified that Russo did any of those things that he claimed he did. I have an answer for that already. It's one reason I'm so bitter. I'd be a damn good wrestling booker, and I'm a good writer, but I don't know anyone pretty much in the business. Now this is great.
Keep going.
No, I'm really happy that this sentence came up too. It's not what you are, it's who you know, so people like me will never get an opportunity. I could do at least 100 times better than the WWE is currently doing things. If I were in complete control, I could increase not just the WWE profits, but the entire industry's profits by at least 300% in a year's time without breaking a sweat. Fact is, Russo was never ever qualified to hold the job, and accidentally got it by being near the right people and manipulating his way in like the little worm that he is. He was utterly worthless and got millions, while I have a better creative mind and in literally every possible way, to the point where even my worst idea is better than Russo's best and never got me anywhere due to not being connected. How I wish this nation and world were exclusively a meritocracy. P.S. Someone needs to tell the other guy that the old school is still the school that works best, and the modern crap is proven to not be a fraction as popular as in the 70s and 80s. Sports entertainment is sponsor monkey wrestling, smash television equally as garbage.
Wow! Hold on.
Wow! This is what you did.
No, tell the truth. I didn't see the read more part. I actually didn't read that.
Oh, thank God! So now,
I did not.
All right, good. So now
go ahead.
But now, I mean, you have to know that.
But go ahead. No, go ahead. Green Cat Girl, I approve though.
First and foremost, the shutdown of the idea of Vince Russo was never backed up by anybody. Listen to Bruce Pritchard's show. Listen to the single greatest. Hold on. Listen to the single greatest, in Bruce Pritchard's mind, the single greatest one-night show to ever be put together, which was Survivor Series 1998 Deadly Games, the tournament.
Incorrect.
And that was all Vince Russo.
And it makes no sense whatsoever.
It absolutely makes sense.
We've gone over this. It makes no sense.
That's absolutely horseshit.
Shane, Austin gets fired from Vince. Shane rehires Austin, but then is still aligned with Vince. Why would he do that? It makes no sense.
Just to screw over Austin. Just to get one more over on him.
And the thing is, they gave a reason why. And most people don't even remember it, but the whole plot made no sense. And
there was. The next night, and I completely forgot.
That's right, because everyone forgets because it makes no sense. Anyway.
It probably didn't make sense, I just forgot.
No, it doesn't.
That's first and foremost. So that's him giving credit for his work. There's a whole bunch of people who give Russo the credit for that he had gotten throughout his WWE run. All right, the stuff about afterwards about Vince Russo's post stuff. Yes, 100%. I get it. WCW didn't succeed under Vince Russo.
Thank you, Tim Castillo.
I'm absolutely not a Russo mark. I'm not. I give credit where credit is due. There was a certain point in wrestling where wrestling was at its hottest that Vince Russo was the lead writer for the WWE, which also refutes the other remark that she had that says that old school is the best and nothing new has ever been better, except the highest ratings in the history of professional wrestling was during the Attitude Era, and that was absolutely the what?
Well, technically, he got higher after Russo left for WCW, so...
Even still. But that's fine. But she said that nothing, the old school is better, and nothing is better than that. It has never been proven that the new school is better, and the ratings prove it. What are you laughing at now?
You guys are awesome, by the way.
My info is completely solid. You guys are all completely crazy and just love to piss me off.
Shall we go on? Because there was more.
And third of all.
Oh, yes, third of all.
Anybody who can sit there and tell me, I'm more creative, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that, but I never got the opportunity, is a bullshit artist. Because the fact is that I have an English degree, I've applied to the WWE, I haven't gotten a job there because I don't have enough experience as a writer. Go out, get experience, do what they want you to do, get an interview, and impress them. That's how Vince Russo got hired in the WWE.
Change your life, bro! I couldn't help that you were asking. Should we continue?
Please, if you want to, what? There's more now?
There is more. And then I said, Albert is really stubborn. What can I say? That was my response, as I told you. And then now her response to that.
Oh, there's more, by the way. Let's just cue up the whole thing. If I were to discuss it with him, I'd mainly ask him to prove that Vince Russo was actually responsible for any of the things he was given him credit for. Great English, really creative, by the way. Also, you missed an opportunity, unless it is later in the video, that Jim Cornette was also on the same booking team at the same time as Vince Russo was, not the entire time, and he left.
A good point.
At one point, not the entire time, but anyway. And there is evidence that at least one major thing he contributed, that being Kane, because Cornette booked that entire thing and did all the creative around it. That wasn't just Cornette's idea; that was Vince's idea from the beginning. Cornette yes, he booked. She said
booking it.
Where is the proof that Russo booked all the Austin stuff, or any of it for that matter? There's a lot of it. Russo was a minor advisor on the booking team. He was the lead writer on the booking team. Albert gives him way too much credit, as though Russo was the head booker. When nothing could have been further from the truth, he was the head writer. That's my main thing. There's no evidence to any sort of good stuff that is attributed to Russo. Literally none.
I salute you, Green Cat Girl.
She's an idiot.
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of proof that's the case.
You always harp on Meltzer for being inaccurate. Pritchard is not exactly the most accurate guy.
Here's my thing about
here's my
thing about Pritchard. What does he have to lose by lying right now? Not right this second, maybe. But
how do you think they got him? They put a show on the network,
Because Vince and Bruce have a good relationship going. Why? Because he
tells the right story.
Because he took heat for Vince. Because nobody ever blames Vince, so they're always going to blame Pritchard. Because he's the next guy in charge.
And
he was Vince's hero.
True sister. I was going to get to that, but yeah, I talk about that all the time. And I'm not a Ferrara fan, but yeah.
No, I agree.
But the story always goes Vince Russo. It doesn't go Russo and Ferrara as much as it should.
And I completely agree.
As much as it should.
But by that same point, Russo and Ferrara both got put in charge of WCW, and they did the same thing. So that you can't.
No, but I do know. But I'm just saying Ferrari does not get brought up, good or bad, enough in the conversation.
I completely agree.
That's what
I completely agree. The thing
and
is,
we're guilty
that,
of it too because we just did
right.
Russo Cornette. But that was, and oddly, that was before their fight, the thing that was supposed to happen. We just got really lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about that. We did that right before it happened, and then we did that episode, and then it came out, and we looked at each other like, was that our fault?
It might have been.
But
here's my thing. I don't defend Russo 100%. I think that Russo made a lot of mistakes. I think Russo had horrible ideas. Does anybody remember Meat? When Meat got his friggin' punch spiked by Viagra and Big Boss Man hit him with a nightstick in the dick, and that was a finish of a match? That's a Vince Russo idea. That wasn't good. I'm not saying that Vince Russo's ideas were the greatest ever, but he created stories for some of the greatest action that we'd ever seen. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't love Russo. I don't love him.
But they are. But
I do like a lot of his ideas.
She is right that. And so is True Sinister that the Austin character, the genesis of it, was ECW. It's not like Vince Russo took Stunning Steve and said, I'm going to make you this by himself.
No, but a lot of the ideas that we saw Austin,
the Stone Cold name himself.
Austin coming in, riding in on different vehicles, putting cement in Vince's car, stuff like that. A lot of that was attributed to Vince Russo's way of writing. Vince Russo wrote a television show, which is where I think the WWE needs to go right now. I'm not sitting here and saying that they should rehire Russo. I think they should take that concept of writing an episodic television show and giving characters stories weekly.
Oh, yeah. And I don't disagree with that.
And that's what I like about Vince Russo. I don't like all of Vince Russo's ideas. And I also don't hate Jim Cornette.
Cornette or Meltzer?
Oh, Cornette by far.
Just asking?
I hate Dave Meltzer.
Okay, I was just checking. My thing is, I agree with you to an extent, but my thing about Russo is that there are a million television writers out there. They don't need him. And if we,
oh no, I agree. I don't think they need him. I'm not saying that.
I don't think they need him then either. But no, I know you're not. But my thing is, let's look at Dick Ebersol. That's a guy who doesn't get nearly enough credit, and he's a television guy.
I agree. Tim Castillo, wrestling is 100% a television show. That's it. What it is. Without television, what is wrestling now?
You guys you're not gonna like an upcoming episode. I'll tell you that right now. Tim Castillo.
Because you agree with me.
Of my show, yeah. Well, you'll know when you see it.
Well, then that's fair. I don't. By the way, I don't know what he's talking about, but he agrees with me, and that's
to an extent.
You agree with me. You just don't want to admit it.
Not Russo, because
no, I'm not talking about Russo. I'm talking about wrestling.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, Russo is just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks.
Tim, I hate Meltzer because he reports things as fact, even though they're really his opinion. That's why I hate him.
I had another comment. Somebody was talking about how they said it's not Dave Meltzer, because I posted 2 Meltzer videos, and one person said, the thing about Meltzer, it's that I hate his fans because they treat him like gospel instead of thinking for themselves. And I said, well, you're basing your opinion on what other people say, so that's not exactly thinking for yourself either.
Agreed.
No response.
Agreed.
There's some people, I swear, just I don't know if they're doing things on purpose or they're just trolling or whatever, but yeah. Okay, then Tim shooting on Albert. Whoa, Tim is shooting on Albert. Meltzer is a critic. Good one. Man, Tim, I'm liking you today. Harry's not here, so I guess someone had to pick up the slack.
In all honesty, me and Harry get along now.
I know you do.
So we're fine.
But Harry always liked you. He just liked the gag. He was just doing the gimmick.
Yeah. There's a lot of other people.
I don't know. Tim Castillo, I think he's...
Train hasn't been on for a while.
I think he's... Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Harry is here! What's up, buddy?
Yes! Yeah, someone's stealing your own gimmick, your old feud. But yeah, so it seems like somebody... It seems that Tim Castillo might be working himself into a shoot there, pal. I'm not sure.
Thank you, TJ. Appreciate that. Somebody's got my back.
Where's Arthur Pryor? He's the guy who should perpetually have your back because he just agrees with almost everything you say.
Because I'm always right!
Not if we ask the panel. Hey, Dave, with WWE rehiring Chris Pritchard and rejoining Creative, I can predict Becky Lynch will invade Ric Flair's birthday bash.
Okay. And attack Charlotte.
I'm making a lot of predictions about this Pritchard thing. Not that they're wrong.
Based on, look, I agree. I completely agree with the fact that, yes, Vince Russo in WCW completely sucked.
Gave it to himself. Does that suck? Yes. But I will also point out Vince McMahon did the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. And with the ECW title, just to...
please don't.
Yeah.
That never happened. But the thing is, if you're gonna criticize Russo for that, criticize the other Vince for it too. I think that's fair is fair. Is all I'm saying. All I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to eat. I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying let's just be fair here. I was doing school work. Well, that's okay, Harry Flynn. Like I said, Tim Castillo's been taking your old role.
Hold on, wait. I don't understand the concept of pro wrestling, and I love Russo. Yes, I did love Russo's booking. So did 8.5 million people who were watching wrestling every week at that time.
Do you think these changes will make WWE better or worse? Jury's not out yet. I'll be honest. When it comes to... Because here's... my biggest X factor for everything going on right now is Vince McMahon.
Thank you.
Because he's a bag of squirrel turds right now. It's like you have no idea where his head's at right now. He's a bag of ferrets. You have no idea what he's going to do. So he could have the best writers in the world, but if his brain is on backwards and he just decides to not listen to them, then you get what you get. You could have the worst writers in the world, like Vince Russo, but then cherry pick their good ideas and then make it into stuff. That was right there. I had to take it.
Fair enough.
So you just never know.
Robert Soto, I don't own Vince Russo's book.
That surprises me. You kind of should. And as GP, you kind of should.
And in all honesty, I listened to Russo's podcast for a little while, and I got as much out of it as I could, and I'm done with it now. Because Russo now became worse than I am in he's on both sides of the fence of criticizing everything that WWE does, but then getting mad at fans for criticizing doing the same thing.
Hey,
so I hate that
change your life, bro. Bro, it's not that serious, bro.
Here's the thing.
I will also admit that Brian Zane does it much better than I do.
He does.
Robert Reflex, I don't think Arn being fired, I heard it was for several reasons. I heard it was because...
We're back. We're going to a little more water. Sure. I'm going to make sure that these people are going to probably rip into me anyway.
How he ran a specific house show. I also heard that was because he sided with the boys rather than management. And I heard it's because they are looking to take creative in a new direction. I wouldn't have done it because I do respect Arn Anderson a lot. I respect his eye for talent. And I also think with Bobby Roode on the roster, you need a guy who knows how to handle a spine buster like nobody's business. So they both have really good spine busters. Then don't give me Triple H if you want to throw a spine buster argument. Nay, no.
Also, he has a lot of guys in the back that are really big fans of his. Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, they're both really big AA marks.
Well, that's going to get them far.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of guys who credit. They're just the first people who they're the top of my Twitter feed all the time. So
DJ Fritz. Yeah, exactly. What's his name? Yes, Moose. Harry too. Warhol Rambo. Wow, I can't go that far. No, I can't.
Just Warhawk Rambo's just another one of these people that just got completely sucked up in the internet hate of Roman Reigns and can't think for himself. It's really what it turns out to be.
No, I get it to a degree. Or I understand that a person would feel that way. I don't agree with it, but I understand that way because Arquette was a short thing, and it was also in a company that was really at the end.
Yeah, I mean they were obviously. Yeah.
So it's like no one's paying attention to them anyway. It's like if Impact did it now, it's like well, not now because they're actually trying really hard, but it was like Impact like 2 years ago. Like if they did it then, it's like who cares?
TJ does bring up a good point.
TJ. Well, Ryan Hogan's fans of.
Well, we did say AA.
That's true.
Yeah.
Albert just enjoys blandness. Wow.
I know.
His favorite WCW champion, Vince Russo. Right, bro? What Roberto Soto says.
If by Vince Russo you meant Sting, then sure.
Huh.
Yeah. Huge Sting fan.
Not Macho.
Not in WCW.
I get it.
Yeah.
My thing is, every time Macho is an eligible candidate for your favorite whatever in any category, you have never said him once. That surprises me. Favorite WCW champion? Macho? Nope, not Macho. Favorite wrestler of all time? Macho? Not Macho. It's like he's got to hit #1 for something for you, doesn't he? In theory.
It's hard because Jericho is so high up my list of everything.
I mean, what are you going to say? Hogan enemy? Is that the best thing you got?
Oh, he was definitely the best Hogan feud. 100%.
Okay.
Look, you guys wanted to shit on me.
See, that's weird because I would put Sting in that over Macho.
What?
Hogan feud.
Oh, no. Hell no. No,
not
Macho.
how it ended.
No.
But like everything leading into Starrcade 1997 until the fast count was perfect.
Yeah.
You know, we just ignore that end and we're fine.
And honestly, hey, just to throw this out there, 2 really quick things. 1, if you want to hear a really good podcast about Roman Reigns, do yourself a favor, look up on Apple, on iTunes, and on Spotify. It's a show called In Your House. House is spelled Howse. I believe it's episode 8. I was the guest on that show, and it's 45 minutes of me talking about why everybody gives Roman Reigns a whole bunch of blind hate. So throw that in there and listen to that.
And while you haven't heard it on this channel, no.
But maybe they haven't. And while you're at it, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel by just searching the Slam Sessions on YouTube and throw a subscribe in there too. Boom.
Base up $2 super chat. Thank you. Wow, Shawn Michaels versus Kenny Omega, all in 3. Book it. That would be interesting. Base up. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much.
Please.
And I would say also listen to Dave LaGreca, Busted Open Radio.
Yeah, that too.
But yes, so
Shawn Michaels should stay retired.
But I do like the idea of all in 3. Now, all in 3.
We haven't gotten 2 yet.
Well, I think they're counting Double or Nothing. I think he's talking about the All Out show. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say Shawn Michaels has. It'd be really messed up if he left because they're inducting him in the Hall of Fame right now. So I'd be mad dirty. But let's just say he shows up at that not AEW convention, right, along with the Undertaker.
Just Starrcast, yeah. Just hang out at Starrcast.
Yeah, why not? But let's say that's the planting the seeds. So it'll really make Vince sweat if that happened. And then that's where he plants the seeds, and then he goes into all elite. I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind if somehow Jericho's tied in. Shawn Michaels' history with Jericho tying into the feud with thank you so much, the Woos $2 super chat. Thank you. More generosity. Patreon supporter, the Woos, and a $2 super chat today. Again, you're always so great, always so supportive of the channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinny. I was waiting for that.
What? Who said that? Who?
Bottom comment.
What was Dave talking about Shawn Michaels? I'm not complimenting him. He's saying, how would I book it? This is how I would book it. If this was like life booking, then it would involve, gasoline matches. But anyway, so that's how I would book it. I would probably tie in his Jericho thing because all in Double or Nothing. We got Kenny Omega and Jericho. I don't think I would have Shawn Michaels interfere in the match because you don't want that. But I think I would tie it in at some point. I
mean, you could. I just think
that's how I would.
And I get it. I just honestly think that Shawn just shouldn't wrestle anymore.
Well, believe me, I don't think he should have wrestled ever. However, given the question, that's what I'm answering.
Oh God!
Because I'm just telling you right now, I guarantee.
Man's such a hater.
Accurate, whatever.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Said, if you like Shawn Michaels, just remember Albert does too, and he also likes Roman Reigns.
And what's your point?
So I'm just throwing that out there.
And again, here's the thing, because I keep seeing people talk about it. I have a man crush on Roman. I don't even like Roman as much as just about half of the roster. No. Just that you're blind to hate.
Everybody's the internet. Blind to hate. You either 100% for something or 100% against something. You don't understand how the internet works. How many times I got to tell the guests on the show that that's what the internet's about? You have a YouTube channel now. You have to be more responsive. You have to understand it's 100% this way or that way. You cannot. Gray area, nuance, subtlety doesn't exist. This is the internet. And you're only allowed to come on the internet if you have something to complain about. Or if you need to defend something that has no bearing being defended, which you already have that part down. So you at least got half of the equation right. So the internet works, buddy. That's what the internet's for. It's for complaining. Or defending things that everybody hates. Like, you got to go on and tell everyone why Batman and Robin is actually the best Batman movie of all time. Or A Quest for Peace really was. A Quest for Peace.
Anyway, Harry, I do like the Elite 64 Jimmy Uso figure. And I did get your suggestion. I will do a show eventually on my wrestling figure collection. I'm actually just waiting for my Retro Series 6 to come in. I just got the Retro Ring, too. So I also get Retro Series 1 because I missed that on that. Shame. Unless anybody has any retro series ones hanging around that you just want to give to me, that'd be awesome.
Batman Forever is better than Batman and Robin. I don't like Batman and Robin. I was just saying...
Batman and Robin was trash.
This afternoon I was watching this YouTube video about how Iron Man 3 was one of the most significant parts of the MCU. And I'm like, I hate this video. I'm like, I hate everything about it.
I don't dislike Iron Man 3 as much as I used to.
There we go.
But I also don't like it. Well, I don't love it. That's a better way of putting it. I don't love it.
The overall gist of it, which took a very long time to get to, was how it was the first movie in the MCU that subverted fan expectations where they played it mostly safe before that. And as such, it's the reason why filmmakers were allowed to take chances. I'm like, well, that's stupid because then another movie could have been the one to take chances that was good. And they said if it wasn't for Iron Man 3, maybe we would never have gotten Civil War or Black Panther. I'm like, shut up! I'm like, shut up!
Yes, we would have.
Iron Man 3 is not the reason we got Black Panther. I'm like, calm down!
I want to dropkick Wilson in that scene.
Oh man, I was so mad at that. That was the one that really got me. Like, so thank Iron Man 3 for Black Panther. It's like, shut up! Like, really? Just shut, like, I was so angry at that.
Ben, I've seen you comment this a bunch of times, so I'm going to put it this way. Vince will retire when Vince wants to retire.
Which is never.
And I agree that he did. And look, we've had the WWE ECW chat at one point. I don't know, did we do it on a Wrestling with Wrestling episode? So go to WrestlingWithWrestling.com, look up the Slam Sessions on there. And there's an episode that Dave and I did about WWE ECW, about how I completely agree with the fact that Vince killed that, but I also disagree with the fact that, it was terrible. If I looked past the ECW name for a very long time and just took the show for what it was, and actually wound up enjoying it.
Harry Flynn, I brought this up, but yes, it's a terrible name.
It's a horrible name.
Horrible name. They were action figures, Tim Castillo, but...
yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Bret Hart calls them dolls too, though. And Vinny Montana, yes, Iron Man 3 did make a lot of money, and that is something that people bring up too. That that was something else they brought up too. Like I said, there were several factors they brought up, but still, the gist of it was that, and that just no. Cable versus Bishop movie book. And see, I do like those two interacting, but one thing that I think is important to remember that a lot of people forget about Cable and Bishop is they're both from the future, or they both time travel back to the past, but they're not from the same time period.
Yeah.
Bishop is from just relatively a little bit in the future, where Cable is like from the year 3000.
Yeah.
So I think, and Cable has easy time travel technology. It's much easier for him to time travel. He also has teleporting technology and so on and so forth. Cable has a big advantage technology-wise over Bishop. So that's something I think a lot of people forget about, is that Cable is working with a much more stacked deck. Also, another reason why I give Cable the advantage is Cable has been a soldier really all of his life, where Bishop is a soldier, but he was more of a bounty hunter than anything else.
Yeah.
Not as quite used to being a military commander, and he was also more in line, and he also didn't have as difficult of an opponent, because he grew up during the time period of control that Bishop came about. That's nothing compared to having to deal with Apocalypse like Cable has. So, Cable's a much. Although someone did mention how Cable was really. Someone mentioned how Apocalypse is actually fairly overrated. And I have to admit, I didn't argue their points, because they said he's not like a Thanos or a Darkseid, but he gets treated as the X-Men equivalent. Meanwhile, what's he going to do? Grow? And I'm like, it's not a bit like they made several arguments about it, and it was on my comic book channel, and I was like, that's
not a horrible argument.
Right, and I was like, I never thought of it that way, but Apocalypse really isn't as dangerous as they make him out to be.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Grow? That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I never thought about it that way, and I do like Apocalypse still, but yeah, it's a fairly accurate thing. Seth Rollins going to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I really hope so.
Are we just going to put away the fact that Shrek asked that question?
Huh?
Shrek actually asked that question? We're just going to push that to the side?
What?
Shrek asked the question you just answered.
Seth Rollins going to... Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, we're just going to breeze over the fact that it was Shrek who actually asked that.
I'm sorry, Shrek the Ogre said, is Seth Rollins going to break Brock?
I didn't know Shrek was a fan of your YouTube channel. I'm impressed.
Me and him, yeah, that type.
It's impressive.
There's just a lot of things you don't understand, man. Ogres are like onions, okay? You just don't get it. Batman with no Bat Gates versus Captain... Bat Gates?
Gadgets, I'm guessing that's what he was going for.
Versus Captain
America in a fist fight.
The answer is a draw.
What?
They
no bad
draw
gadgets.
It doesn't
No
matter.
bad gadgets.
It doesn't matter. Hand to hand, they've drawn every time. They technically Batman won. It was a draw in my book. DC versus Marvel.
Yeah.
The JLA Avengers was a draw.
No, I agree. But
it's a draw. Hand to hand, it's a draw. Anytime anyone's ever given a definitive answer, I say it's wrong. It's a draw. Because Batman only won through a technicality in DC versus Marvel.
Fair enough.
Man 3 is rad, bro. How could... Oh, jeez. Jimmy James, But see, now a lot of my fans of the comic book channel are probably pretty happy now because they always say, why are we always talking about wrestling and comic book channel? We should talk about comic books on the wrestling channel. Well, being done.
Well, there you go.
I honestly don't understand the hate on Roman Reigns, but Dean is my current favorite wrestler. See, my thing is, I never disliked Roman as a person. I definitely didn't wish any ill upon him, but I never liked how he was booked, and I still don't. And I don't even put that on him. Sure, is it shorthand easier to say you don't like him? Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are certain things like his moveset I wish he would improve upon. There were things like that. But as a whole, I never approved of how he was booked, and I still don't. And I also don't think he's the only person who was booked like that, because there were plenty of other people who were booked that poorly, or in that specific style, which I don't like.
I've never said his booking was great.
And I know you don't.
Yeah.
And I also was never a fan of his mic skills. I should also say that too.
Which I think he's improved on.
Yes. But see, here's my thing. Like, when we talk about guys who improved on the mic throughout career, not just talking about recently, but it's like, and I don't love him, but I think Triple H, huge lifetime improvement.
Oh yeah. Before he was the game, and he was gonna take you out every single week.
But then magically they bring in Ric Flair to hang out with him for a little while, and then magically he gets better, which I don't think is a coincidence.
Not even in the slightest.
So that was number one, a huge thing that I noticed was Ric Flair. And I don't think it's as big of a jump, but Seth Rollins, not for nothing, has improved a lot in the past couple
Oh yeah, he has.
He was.
Arthur, where were you? I needed so much defending, and you just weren't here. What are you doing?
Plugging in the computer.
Oh.
Batteries.
Oh, all right. I thought you were gonna kill the connection or something like that. Let's see. Well, at least Cena worked on bringing new moves to his set and killed Roman on the mic. Look, here's the thing about the whole moveset ordeal. I know everybody talks about this. I think Roman is good in the ring. I think a lot of people crap on him, specifically just because they want to find a flaw in the fact that he was pushed. But I've started this from the beginning, and I will say it until the end of time. The only reason anybody, including you, Warhawk, who just keeps going off on Roman, dislikes Roman is because everybody else told you to. Oh, Dave's not even going to come back in because he knows I'm right.
I didn't hear anything you said.
He just said he agrees with everything I said. I hope you guys caught that. Roman is not good enough to be booked the way he is. Guys like him are the reason Vince loves the script. If Roman was a low mid-carder, I wouldn't mind him. I completely disagree. Everybody forgets about how over Roman was when he was in the Shield, how he was getting cheered really big in the Shield, and everybody was like, that guy's going to be destined to be a world champion one day. And then it wound up happening, and everybody hated it because it wasn't what they wanted because Daniel Bryan.
I have refuted that multiple times.
And you're wrong.
Is that? Here's my.
Paul Heyman agrees with me.
Yeah, and Heyman also said that Brock ended the streak by going into business for himself, because that's accurate.
Heyman said that tongue-in-cheek.
Working you, and you fall for it. My thing is, wrestling fans, I think, are amazing. The wrestling fans' hindsight, I think, is hysterical, because I feel like...
Thank you, Harry.
In hindsight... Wow. I think in hindsight, it should give clarity. But I feel like wrestling hindsight is less accurate. Like when people say the screw job created the Attitude Era, that could not be further from the truth.
The Attitude Era was
But there's so many people who believe that. It's the same thing. I feel the same thing has happened with the Roman Reigns thing, that people want to blanket everything on one particular reason to Daniel Bryan issue. But again, I don't think it's the Daniel Bryan thing. Or if it is, it's not solely the Daniel Bryan thing. It is not the only... Daniel Bryan is not the biggest reason. And again, I point to people like myself who are not sold on Daniel Bryan whatsoever, but... So that's not my issue with him.
Look, my thing is that wrestling fans are...
And for the record, I did not say I agreed with everything what Albert says while I was going.
That's a lot. And You know, look, you guys can talk all the crap you want,
Jovi is better singer than
but in all honesty, if I could ban people from from Dave's channel, I would. So you guys are lucky.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. But I'm not a Bon Jovi fan, and some early U2 I liked. I liked early U2.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to judge it just off of vocal talent alone, and I don't know about that one. It's closer to that. Which band I like better? Not even a question. I hate Bon Jovi, but I like U2. Which singer's better? I don't know. That's a little tougher. My hatred for Bon Jovi might just sway me to
Bon Jovi has better range.
He's got that. I swear I'm not dumping on her. I really am not. I swear I'm not. But Bon Jovi has like this raspy girl voice like Renee Young. And so it's like, I do a lot of ragging on Renee Young, and I swear I like Renee Young. But like he's got that. Like he's got that whiny, like
a little bit, yeah, he does.
And I understand Bono may not be the best voice, like he's not Freddie Mercury or anything like that, but at least he doesn't sound like Mercury.
Which I had to 100% argue with 1,000 people about that too. They were like, Adam Lambert should have never done. What are you talking about? No, you can't remove it.
All right, damn it. All right. Anyway,
Harry, keep talking about how Dave said that Shawn Michaels is the GOAT.
I did not.
Keep talking about that. Let's have a long conversation about that.
About us. You know, if you watch 4-year version, there is something he should do to a goat. Anyway, Warhawk Batista is bland.
So the idea was that Warhawk said that Reigns was carried in the Shield. Because I brought up the Shield, and that Reigns was over in the Shield, and he said he was carried.
Well, the Shield
and then
was
TJ
over.
TJ brought up the fact that Batista was carried in Evolution, and then he got his main event spot.
I agree with that too.
Probably before he was ready for it.
I also agree with that. I'm not arguing that at all.
And everybody was totally okay with that. But
no, what? No, I am not a Batista guy.
You aren't. That doesn't mean everybody is.
Well, I like a Mexican. No, but okay. Again, we look at the ratings, but the major difference is Batista did not get booked in the same way that Roman did. Batista, natural, and I do think this formula is overused, and this was the beginning of the overusing of it, but Batista, got betrayed by Triple H. Batista and Triple H fight. Okay, you got your built-in storyline here. Roman didn't get one. The Shield dissolved, and yeah, Roman is the, Batista of the situation. Seth Rollins could be the Triple H, but Seth wasn't there yet. And they never really gave it to you the way they needed to. Like, they didn't pitch the story. Roman... If anything, Roman got screwed at WrestleMania 31 by Seth. Like Seth had the Batista kind of I'm going to win the title now thing at WrestleMania. So, you know what I mean? It's
I see what you're saying.
The booking again. It goes down to the booking. Here's the thing I will concede to. Movesets, I'm a big moveset kind of guy. I understand not everybody is. Steve is not either. And by the way, Albert and Steve have never met as far as I know, which I think is weird that you two have never met each other.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
I noticed that the other day, and he's like, I don't know who Albert is. I've never met him. I was like, how's that possible?
What an unlucky guy.
Yeah, but because there have been several times I wanted him here on Monday to meet you, and he never had for whatever reason, just could never be here. So, but anyway,
his loss.
The moveset bothers me. The mic skills bother me. Has he improved? Yeah, not enough by my taste. Again, but I also don't think everyone needs to cut a promo live in ring. I don't think everyone needs to stand there and get the mic. I think TJ Perkins is a huge example of a guy. Do not give him a hot mic. Yeah. Like ever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those two factors aside, again, Roman's booking has never been his friend. They've never booked him well. They gave him. He really should have just straight up beat Brock at 31.
I agree. I agree. His booking has hurt him more than anything else.
I don't think that would have been good booking, but that was better.
It was better than what they did.
Yeah,
100% better than what they did.
So why did you two goofballs come on an hour early anyway? Because I am supposed to be going in a little bit.
Dave has to go do his day job, but I can stay and we can talk on my YouTube channel, which is the Slam Sessions. So, subscribe, everybody. Nobody's going to subscribe because everybody hates me, which is great.
You still live, damn bro. You still alive, damn.
Yeah, we're still alive. We run live for an hour.
Probably the reason for low ratings. They pay him so much. do a few suplexes and F5s, and let him keep the championship. Roman is way better than him. He is more entertaining than that. I will not ever attack. I will not ever defend Brock Lesnar. So,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, no. But I think it's a combination thing because I really don't think it's either of them. I don't think But they again going to the booking. Vince, because did you hear the rumor about the other celebrity that they might be bringing? It's a very thin veiled rumor, but to bring in to replace Ronda if she does leave.
Who?
Serena Williams.
Ooh.
There allegedly has been conversations between the two.
That's weird. I don't get it, but all right.
Because celebrities, mainstream eyes.
Yeah, there's a difference between having a celebrity, and there's also a difference between who's a wrestling fan and just a celebrity.
Well, allegedly, Serena Williams is a wrestler.
Really?
Allegedly.
Oh, I thought I'd take it back.
But don't get me wrong. In real life, I believe she could kick some ass. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised, Heck of an athlete. Because they are stupid.
I know Cyborg. I know Cyborg was rumored too.
Oh, then Ronda's definitely leaving.
Thank you, Woos. Appreciate you.
Young Brock Lesnar is fine. Perfectly fine. I got no problem.
I agree. Me and Dave don't agree. Actually, me and Dave agree a lot more than we show on this channel.
Brian's Gate, that's just a rumor I heard. I don't know how much truth there is to it. It's just a rumor I heard. No, I did not see fighting with my family as of yet. Williams. I heard it's just a rumor, guys. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that is just a rumor I heard. Adam Sandler is a big WWE fan. That he is too. Who knows? He might. Well, Adam Sandler doesn't make money anymore, so.
Oh boy.
Fans secretly love Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena. The ratings are higher when they appear. WWE fans pretend to be haters, but they're not. Well, Roman was. Well, the Roman argument. Tonight, I do think the ratings might go up a little bit because of that, but I think for the most part, we can't count. No, I got it. Okay,
Gotcha. Yeah. No, 100%. You didn't have to say anything. Here's the thing. I don't agree. I think that hardcore wrestling fans don't like those people because they've been told that they aren't supposed to like whoever Vince pushes unless they've toiled in the obscurity for 15 years.
Ratings go up for Brock on certain occasions, but there have been plenty of Raws that are nothing Raws that they don't go up even when he's there. Do more views go on when he appears before SummerSlam or Mania? Yeah, but those ratings will always go up. Most of the time, at least, after SummerSlam, before SummerSlam, before Mania, after Mania. So, like, the shows that Brock are on typically draw higher ratings anyway. So I don't think it's fair to put that on Brock, especially because there are some, like, nothing episodes that he's on, and they don't do well.
Yeah,
so that is my caveat to the Brock thing.
The Pyro Hunk, it is the Slam Sessions. So search for that on YouTube, you should find me.
So, Cena, I like Cena. Kevin Nash recently gave an interview where they said if he could build a company around anyone, who would it be? He said Brock Lesnar or John Cena. I think it's odd choices. Right now, that seems odd.
I mean, Cena I get because he's got the biggest fan base.
But right now, he's not going to be around right now. If he was
I'm just saying, if he was. Like, if we're talking in a setting where, okay, he's done with Hollywood.
But also, this is Nash saying this. Let's remember Nash, with the booking, not so smart. Also, you can't build a company around an old guy.
You can.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
You can. You just have to build younger stars around it. WCW did, but they didn't build anybody else.
You can, but you have like a very small window to get the new talent in.
I agree. I agree.
So, theoretically you could, but I still wouldn't. I wouldn't chance that.
So, what I've learned from this whole conversation, this sidebar conversation that TJ's been having with Warhawk, is that Warhawk is actually just a complete dick. That's pretty much what I've learned. He said, TJ said, do you want fans to boo a cancer patient? He said, yes. Nice people finish last. Chant, please retire. Dick, exactly. So, I mean, at least I know what I'm up against.
Hey, he's honest. That's what he wants. Look, okay, here's the thing. Immaterial about whether or not his disease is there. Look, I have been myself saying, curbing myself just because it's like, you feel bad for the real-life guy. And I get that. But if you don't feel that way, should you change how you feel or change what you say?
Here's the best I can come up with that. People are literally wishing death upon him.
That's not what he's saying.
No, hold on. and then all of a sudden changing their stories around afterwards, being like, well, as soon as we found out he had cancer, I never hated Joe and Noah. I hated Roman Reigns. You can't have it one way or another. If you wish death upon somebody, you should have hoped he died from cancer.
Jeez, I don't know. Yeah, no, there's a degree in how you want someone to die. I think that matters.
My thing is this: if you disliked him before, don't you can.
And it's also a figure of speech on the internet.
Still,
maybe it shouldn't be, but it is.
Still, the statement that they made. If you're not a fan, that's fine. And I don't care that certain people aren't
can't
a
have
fan.
it both ways. He's not changing his tune. He's staying very diligently, even across the board. So, according to you, that's exactly what you want. So he's doing it. He's doing it, isn't he? He's doing exactly what you said. You can't have it both ways. Well, he's not.
I'm not.
He's not.
That's fine. I'm not disagreeing with that portion of it. But I don't know. I'm not saying it was him, TJ. What I'm saying is that I've seen that multiple times on Twitter, Facebook, a whole bunch of different sites.
Arthur is actually disagreeing with you. Interesting.
No, he's not really, because that's exactly what I'm saying. If you disliked Roman Reigns, just because you disliked him, not because everybody told you to, fine. You want to boo him, that's fine. But exactly. The Roman Reigns having cancer, he's not Roman Reigns anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were saying you can't have it. But you were just saying how you can't have it both ways.
Raw is on, and Roman came out to nothing but cheers.
Yeah, I expected.
And I hope that's the case.
I expected that.
Except if your Warhawk would have just booed him out of the building and told him to please retire.
But see, this is what I don't understand. Do you like that he's staying even, or do you not like that he's staying even? What do you want him to do?
No, I just call him out for being a dick. It's fine he wants to stick to his morals. He's still a dick.
I think he's booing him. I don't think he's booing him for being ill. I think he's just booing him in spite of being ill.
All right. First of all, Roberto, if you think that Roman Reigns having cancer is a work, you're a mark. I'm sorry. Stop. Just stop. Everything you say from here on out, I will not believe you because I don't believe. Because nothing that you can say is ever going to make me get over the fact that people will think that Roman having cancer is a work.
Look, I don't think it is a work, but I understand. But I'm not surprised there are people who think that. That it crosses their mind. It's not surprising. I don't think it is, but I mean, I'm just saying. It's wrestling. Of course, there are going to be people who suspect that.
It's cancer.
No, I know.
In the PG era.
Believe me, I know. I get it. But I'm just saying, you can't fault someone for that.
When Stephanie McMahon comes out and says that philanthropy is the next step in building your brand, you're not going to fake cancer.
I don't know. Stephanie McMahon has done a lot of contradictory things to what she says.
Stephanie McMahon's an idiot.
That's not. You should have led with that. Is my point. Look, I'm just saying you can't fault people for thinking that. I understand. I don't think it's true whatsoever. It's not a work. I don't believe it is. But I do understand that people are going to naturally assume that.
Is your defense? I'm a mark. Is your defense that Chris Benoit?
I think he's getting to you and it's working.
He's
got to be kidding about that.
All right.
He got you.
If he's trolling, then fine.
Yeah, no, but either way.
That was good, Harry. He might. It's actually a fatal four-way now. He's not kidding.
Not kidding.
Well, then there's just two people that are idiots in here.
He is kidding, and the not kidding is kidding, meaning that he is kidding.
No, he said he's speaking for real, which means that he's just a moron. It was Kevin Sullivan, right, Roberto?
I'd be a lot happier if it was.
So would I. So would I. Because, again, separating...
There are some things that are suspect about that.
Separating the real man from the performer.
Whole thing is
I love Chris Benoit, the performer.
My whole thing is there's a bajillion things out there that you're never going to know the truth behind, so I don't even bother. But, again, this is the internet. You are, no matter what, you don't know anything. I know everything, and you are a mark if you think anything other than me. That's the internet for you. That's how the internet works. See?
It's funny because...
You should thank him because they're preparing you for life on YouTube.
That's fine. I'll just rip into everybody who's an idiot on my channel too. That's completely fine. I have no problem with doing that.
Warhawk Rambo, you're right. He is a total YouTube noob. What a bunch of marks. Indeed. Do you think everyone's a mark? Because there are wrestling people like that who think everybody's a mark.
No, not everybody. I'm not.
Kevin Nash held a huge grudge against Benoit for years. I suspect more Nash than Kevin Sullivan. I'd rather Kevin Sullivan. If someone had to be, if we could somehow shift the blame on someone else, I'd rather be Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
Although taking down a Click has an appeal.
Yeah, but you're not going to remove Shawn Michaels.
No, I'll get there. Oh, I'll connect those.
I know if you were in charge of WWE, you would figure it out, but you can't do it.
Dude, Dewey, former WCW champion, in the front row.
Do you think
you blame WWE for what Chris Benoit did when he wrestled a way harder style in Japan? It's a good point, Base Up. Very good point.
Kendall, I completely agree with the fact that I think that making the women's championship a triple threat match was good because I think Charlotte's just going to be there to eat the loss. This way, they don't hurt Ronda.
If Ronda is leaving,
she's not leaving.
If she is leaving, you have to let Becky take it.
And fine, if she is, but she's not.
Yeah, and even if she's not, first of all, I'm just not a triple threat guy. Like I've said this all.
I know you're not a big.
I'm just not a big triple threat guy.
I know you're not.
But if this is going to be the main event for Mania, traditional one-on-one, that's the way you go. If it's going to be the first time women ever headline WrestleMania, you want it to be a marquee one-on-one match, not a triple threat.
You do understand that the ideology behind that does leave Becky out in the cold out of that whole situation.
No way.
The reason why I say that is because the whole idea was it was supposed to be Charlotte versus Ronda.
Again,
the waist
is hotter now, so you move it over.
But they would have never done that.
They would
have stuck to their guns.
Yeah, but you adapt. That's the thing. They
don't adapt, though. It's the WWE.
No, you're right. They don't, but they should. But here's my.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying they don't.
WrestleMania 1.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Piper Orndorff.
Yeah, it was a schmoz. Yeah.
No, but is that the pay-per-view main event you want for the first main event of a WrestleMania? If you retrospectively could undo that, wouldn't you?
No.
I would make it Hogan Piper straight up one-on-one.
No. And the reason why, first and foremost,
Orndorff has no business in that match. I'm sorry, okay?
The reason why I say no is that Piper refused the job to Hogan.
I get it.
So if that's the case,
but you know what I mean. I'm talking about marquee value. I'm not talking about any of that stuff.
The other thing is marquee value. You know how I feel about celebrities.
You want to let T go, but like I said, Orndorff, you come on, man, come on. Really, come on.
I like Paul Orndorff.
I didn't say I don't like him, but he had no business in the first ever. Now, of course, they didn't know what WrestleMania was going to become.
Exactly, that's the other thing.
But I'm just saying, in hindsight, if we could hit the reset button, if we could hit the retcon button,
I don't know if I would.
Definitely taking Orndorff out of that match for sure. I'm taking him out before I take Mr. T out.
I don't know if I would.
Which I obviously would, but yeah.
I don't think I would.
This is crazy talk.
The thing is that it worked. Why would you go back and change
something that worked? No one cares about Orndorff in that match. No one.
Right. No one cares either way, so why change it?
I'm just saying, if you could. Just because historic value. Just like the Undertaker's streak. If we could undo certain people, you could say, well, it worked. Yeah, but we could also get John Gonzalez out there, is my point. I'm not comparing Paul Orndorff to John Gonzalez.
But that didn't work.
Let's clarify that.
But that didn't work.
Well, no, it did, because it led to all the success and blah, 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 blah.
No, that just happened. That could have been his only loss at WrestleMania. They just happened to book it the right way.
WrestleMania could have been anything else. They booked it the right way because they had Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was the key component. How about this? What if you pulled Macho in early? Can I tempt you to that?
I'm never going to say no to that. I'll never say no to that.
Yes, I know. Cheap trick, but it worked. I know you're button.
Listen, you talk about putting Jericho, Bret Hart, or Macho Man in anything, and I'm game. I don't care what you say.
Macho versus Bret for WrestleMania 9. That would have been interesting.
That would have been great.
Well, it would have been better than what we got, that's for sure.
Anything would have been better than what we got.
Okay.
Except JR and Toga.
Do you want to do your own thing, or do you want to...
I'll hang out here for a little while.
All right.
And then I think maybe I'll leave a little bit early tonight. Okay. Beat the no traffic home.
I'll be in and out.
All right. All right, so you heard it here. Dave left. It's now my channel. I can ban people all I want. Right, Dave?
No.
He said yes.
Joe.
So, guys, I don't have Raw on. I don't even have the opportunity to have Raw on. We're in a different room. So I think we established this a couple weeks ago. We don't have the capacity to watch Raw anymore. But, yeah. Let me know what's going on. tell me what's going on with Roman. Besides the fact that we know he is getting a pop, and that's great, which he deserves, unlike some people think in here. Base up, you just missed Dave, and I really wish you would have seen that you used to call Shawn Michaels the best, because that would have hit his button. TJ, it's going good, man. It's going good. I'm hanging in there. Can you please link me to your channel? I couldn't find it. Let me see. There's got to be my thing is that I linked this from an old YouTube account, so I don't exactly know what the hold on. I'm gonna find it for you guys, and then we're gonna do it that way. This way, you guys can subscribe to me, because who doesn't want to hear more about me, except for certain people in this chat. So you guys gotta give me 1 second, because also I can't see you now that I'm doing this. I probably should have done this on my. Well, I can't really do it on my phone, but whatever. Oh, when I searched for it the other day on YouTube, it actually came right up, and for some reason, it's not doing that now. Oh, there we go. Where's the... So, alright, this is the whole thing, I guess. Okay. Oh, I have to sign in order to do this? Oh, man. Crap. I hope I didn't just lose you guys. Did I lose you guys for a second? I don't know. In all honesty, for some reason I'm not signed in, so I don't think I can. But so Dave went to go. Dave went to go teach. Yeah, I'm invading. I've taken over. I'm like the NWO right now and taking over Dave's entire channel. Tim, you're saying that Roman sounds like a retirement speech? I really hope not, because that would really suck, to be completely honest. Yeah. Whoa. Damn. People are just slamming doors around this place. Rebook the invasion, but you need to use only the mid-card guys the WWF got. Wasn't that the only guys they got from WCW except for DDP? He could be a big movie star. And with enough training, I think he could do well. I don't think he could be successful as Cena or Rock. Look, like I said, I will defend Roman till the end of days. You guys know that, but I also don't think that he's the most overly charismatic person. But I think that he could do decently well. Vinny, I'm glad to hear that Roman looks good. That's a really good thing. I really wish there was a way that I could watch the show while doing this. Unfortunately, I can't. And I also can't. So, all right. So, who was the Pyro Hunk? Okay. So, if you go to youtube.com/user/KYDFLASH85, that is me. So you can do that. I have to figure out how to, and I got to talk to Dave about a couple of different things about how to use YouTube, because I'm not too good at YouTube. Hey!
Don't look at me.
What's up?
I'm going to give you a big elbow.
Come sit in with me.
Now I got to get the hell out of here.
Oh, sure you do.
You do the show with all your friends.
Then I wouldn't be doing the show with anybody.
Exactly, like you are right now.
That hurts.
Truth does
Usually does. Harry, I will watch your your YouTube channel. I have to do that too. I gotta get around to a lot of things. Roman looks like he's taking steroids. I don't know about that. I don't think that's happening in WWE nowadays. Maybe while he's going to class to get better on the mic, he could have. Hey, just speaking facts here, but Chris Jericho was never that big of a star, and Brett didn't draw a dime as champ. Brett drew better than Shawn did. And I'm not a Shawn Michaels hater, but Brett drew better than Shawn did. And if you want to talk about his WCW run, what are you really going to talk about? He wasn't champion for that long anyway. And Jericho was a big star in WCW that should have been pushed, but WCW was too reliable on guys like Hogan. And as much as I love him, Randy Savage, guys of that ilk, older guys, old WWE stars, a whole bunch of different stuff. He's back. Back? Oh, hey, Pyro Hunk, just throwing. He's in remission. Guys, that's great news. That's absolutely great news. I'm really happy. I'm really happy about this. This really does make me. This does make me really happy. I mean, good for him. No one deserves that. Pyro Hunk, you talk about Lance Storm should have been pushed to the moon in WWE. Do you want to know whose idea it was to push him in WCW? Vince Russo. Just throwing that out there. Bischoff actually said that Russo pushed for him really hard. The Macho Man deserves to be the top guy in every promotion he goes to. Hell yeah. He's back! Davey's back!
Who's that?
Roman's back, baby! He's in remission! Dave didn't give me a response. Oh, there he is.
Oh, just hogging center screen now, huh?
Oh, of course I am. Come on in. What happened?
Nothing. I'm just...
You done? Good.
No, I'm not done.
Oh, that's awesome. We can come back and do the show together now.
I'm not done.
I'm so glad that you're done.
I am not done. Wow, you just hear so... Yeah, he's back because Papa Vince is forcing him to.
Roman is in remission.
I hope so. I really hope so. And I hope Vince is not...
He's not going to bring somebody back with cancer.
It's Vince McMahon! Look, I'm sorry. Moral scruples from Vince McMahon, I just don't have a lot, okay? Vince McMahon's morality is just not very high on my list. I'm sorry.
I'm not
saying that he is, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't put it past him.
Cancer was never a work. I'm sorry.
No,
you guys can say whatever you want. Cancer was never a work.
And I don't think it was either. But Vince McMahon is just, I don't put it past him to force somebody to come in when they're not ready to. I mean, how many guys did he do that to? See, it's not the same thing, but CM Punk had to wrestle hurt. Cena has wrestled hurt. Everybody wrestles hurt. I understand.
There's a lot different wrestling with cancer.
Concussion, the mush head. How many guys wrestled with the mush head?
That was before Chris Nowinski.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same. Well, CM Punk wrestled with the mush head. Daniel Bryan wrestled with the mush head. Alexa Bliss wrestled with one case of mush head, then got second case of mush head, and then had to go away for a while. Unfortunately, she was still on TV, baby girl. So,
dear God.
My point on the matter is, it's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing, but I'm just saying it's not. I don't put anything past Vince when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, don't ever doubt the insanity of Vince and Kenny McMahon. You really can't. You really can't, and you know you can't.
He's not putting somebody in the ring that has cancer. I'm sorry. There's lines that are crossed. That's not.
What basis do you have for Vince McMahon having morality all of a sudden? That's all I'm asking.
Mick Foley, in his book, said that he wasn't he didn't feel good. He didn't think he could wrestle, and Vince told him to take all the time he needed. I think that a lot of people who have a very bad relationship with Vince and with the WWE overplay the idea that Vince makes you do everything you don't want to do. I think
that's why they don't have a good relationship with WWE.
No, what I think happens is that Vince expects a certain level of things, and people want to live up to that, and they feel that if they don't, they'll disappoint him. So they volunteer. Not Vince forcing them.
That is true, based on Kurt Angle won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck.
That is 100% true.
That's true.
I had somebody try to dispute me on that at work and the other day, and I actually wanted to hit him.
I love Kurt Angle. I have to preface that. But I don't, technically, because he told the story about how he paid a doctor $1,000 in cash to get steroids and painkillers injected in the neck. Is that eligible to get his medals taken away? I mean, it is.
You know
what I mean? I don't want him to do it. I love Kurt Angle, but I don't know. I've always wondered about that. It's he openly admitted, shouldn't that be? Is that
not really? Because it's not steroids.
It doesn't matter.
Steroids. You know what I mean? If
that's the rule, fine. But it's just something I've always wondered about.
Yeah, because
I'm assuming if it was a problem, it would have been taken away by now. So since it hasn't been, I guess it's fine.
And the other thing, Seth out hugging Roman Reigns. I like that.
Where's Dean? Wait, come on, Dean. Oh, where's Dean? They're legal if they're not then they are just supplements.
Right. Just like the same thing as like if you have asthma, they give you a steroid to clear to help you with your asthma.
Brock has been suspended for that from UFC. I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
that's all he took. That's all he took.
I don't know if I believe that.
That's all he took.
Yeah, sure.
He has asthma.
You know who had really chronic asthma? Billy Gunn. Never knew that until I heard it.
Screw him.
Just saying, that sucks.
Yeah, great.
What don't you like about Billy Gunn?
That he has Tori Wilson, or he had Tori Wilson. Out of his league by far. He goes on the Buddy Murphy.
Really?
What?
Was that? I thought that was just a gimmick.
No, Billy Kidman was like they were.
I said Billy Gunn, not Billy Kidman.
Oh, okay, Billy Gunn. All right, fine. Oh, then that is surprising. I'm sorry. I thought you said Billy Kidman. Okay, never mind. All right, never mind. Brock got roids. I don't know how you meant that, but okay. I'll take the.
They're faking the audio so bad for Roman. Notice how they stay super zoom on the crowd. It's live. It's really hard to fake.
Hold on. No, it's not. They do it all the time. Tim Castillo, I will admit that would be such a swerve if he went heel right now.
That's a Vince Russo booking right there.
No, I'm just no.
What a swerve, bro! They would never see it coming.
I kind of feel, but it would if they could make it make sense. I'm not asking for a pointless one. It's like because Daniel Bryan's heel turn right now, I thought was a pretty good one.
I actually loved it.
It was a good use of, but I'm saying it's the same thing. You take a guy who's got, or you know what? I'll compare it more to Sergeant Slaughter. Comes back from the G.I. Joe tour. Obviously, you're going to be a babyface. Nope.
You're going to be our top heel and our Iraqi sympathizer.
It was surprising.
What?
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, it's not the best angle of all time or anything like that. Don't get me wrong.
Who's a wrestler that you'll think deserved to be in the main event that never got to? There's a lot. There's a pretty big list.
Define main event.
Because I want to say Rob Van Dam, but I guess technically he was.
Yeah, I was going to say he wasn't the main event.
Ken Kennedy.
Yeah.
He wasn't a main eventer in WWE. He won Money in the Bank. That's as much as he got.
Yeah, well, see, I was thinking of Wade Barrett, but he has
Wade Barrett.
But he wasn't. He was.
No,
I know. He's not
a main event. He wasn't a main eventer.
Right.
Cesaro, Regal, Shamrock. I mean, those are
Cesaro. New answer. Forget it.
Yeah. If you ever,
all right,
just the first 15 minutes. I don't remember when we talked about when Dean was turning heel. Yeah. Look, I love Dean. And thank you, Vinny, by the way. I love Dean. And I thought the heel turn could have worked, but it didn't. And I think that the reason why it didn't work is because, first of all, I think him leaving is absolutely a work. Just throwing that out there. So, guys, I'm really happy that Roman's back and he's in remission. And in all honesty, though, I hope they hold out this whole in-ring return thing until after WrestleMania. I hope he's at WrestleMania in some capacity, but that's it. Who deserves a main event at WrestleMania? The guy who's getting it right now, Seth Rollins. Another guy who deserves it right now on the active roster, Finn Balor. 100% deserves it. And AJ Styles. Those are the three guys who I think on the WWE roster right now deserve a WrestleMania main event. Base up, I don't think so. I think that they had these decisions made. They knew they had a contingency plan. I think that Rollins is going to win. I think Rollins wins the main event. I think he wins the title. And I just don't think that there's also no guarantee that Brock's going to sign. TJ, you said Baron Corbin deserves to be in the main event. I don't dislike Baron Corbin. I don't know if he's ready for the main event yet, but I think eventually. For some odd reason, What a Planet Ambrose gimmick. I think you're trying to say something, Clarence, that I'm not understanding. What era was the best in WWE history? For me, it was the Attitude Era. It was just my favorite. Are you just joking, TJ? All right, fair enough. Roman helped Seth win at Mania. I hope not. The man with 3 H's will face Dean at WrestleMania. I've heard that it's going to be Drew McIntyre, but I hope it's Triple H. And yeah. That's just me. I also think that Ambrose is a work too. I think him leaving is a work because you got to remember they're not mentioning it on television either. So I think this is just everybody thinks, oh, he's going to leave, and he's just never going to leave. Oh, Sean Stasiak, the Planet Stasiak gimmick. What, do you want to make him just an idiot? Because that's what Planet Stasiak was. He was just dumb, just couldn't do anything right. Weezy B, I don't think that CM Punk will ever wrestle again. Completely honestly, I think Punk's over it. I think unless he gets really hard on money, he's not going to ever wrestle again. AEW as a whole is just a work. Imagine, that'd be a good one. Cody's just been working for them the entire time. Look, if I'm Roman, I'd be pimping any merchandise that I had because he's been missing out on those checks for a little while. I can either see Lars, Roman, or Hawkins win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Honestly, in all honesty, I think that Lars maybe. That's just me personally. Hawkins, I think Hawkins and Rush should win the tag titles at WrestleMania from the Revival. I think that's the perfect time to end it, to end the streak. Tim, I haven't been able to watch AAF yet, and I really, really want to, but just I haven't had the time. Warhawk, I'm not even going to bother with that. Big E is turning on the New Day at WrestleMania. Maybe. I hope that they don't break up the New Day. I really want them to stay together, but I think that there's so much money in a Big E versus Kofi for the title with what's his name? With Xavier as the special guest referee, it's not even funny. Yeah, Pyro Hulk. I mean, Cody did the right thing. Straight up did the right thing. If you DVR Raw, skip the first 25 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'm just going to watch the first 25 minutes. I'd be lucky if I watch anything else. And I love Cody. Ricochet and Alistair versus Revival right now. That's a good match. Thoughts on MJF? I haven't seen enough of MJF to give you a lot of hardcore thoughts on him. I like MJF. I like his style. I like that he's a real deal heel. That's always good for me. If you're going to be a heel, commit fully. Cool heels are passe. I think that the NWO killed the idea of the cool heel. Cody immediately went to start the elite, suck the elite stick so he can join the Bullet Club and stay relevant. That's really harsh, and I completely disagree. Cody had an idea of what he wanted to do when he left and decided to do it, and he did it well. I don't think that he blew anybody to get that spot. I think he was just smart, and yeah. What you giving away T-shirts now?
No.
Oh, come on, Dave. Where's my T-shirt? I'm on your channel more than anybody else. Yeah, MJF is a graduate of Hawkins School, and that's great to see that he's having success. More success than Kurt Hawkins probably is right now. But hey, Cody Worth is in making AEW is never really that special. I completely disagree. I think Cody was always special.
What were we saying? We're saying about the Bullet Club? What were we talking about?
Where did that come from? You just want to rival me with it's my gimmick to wear the wrestling T-shirts on the live stream.
Any Chipotle. I'm just robbing you left and right today.
It is what it is. I don't know. Everybody's saying that there's a lot of opinions saying that Cody wasn't as good as everyone thinks, and that
I agree with that.
Really?
He's not a main event guy.
I disagree with that 100%.
Of course you do. He's not a main event guy.
I thought he was a main event guy in WWE. I thought
he wasn't a main event guy in WWE. He's a main event guy for NWA and where he is in New Japan now. But I don't think at the time he left. Again,
at the time he left.
Again, you can blame that on booking because Stardust is not a main event gimmick. Did he rock it with every fiber of his being beyond all expectations? Yeah, he committed that way harder than anyone should have. But was he a main event guy at that time? At any point in WWE's career?
I think that he could have been when he took...
could have and being is the two different things.
But I think that it was just when they came back, they booked him terribly.
I don't know why my shoulder looks like this. I don't know. I look mad. It's just this one. It looks...
Your shoulder looks bulky.
Yeah,
like
and
you work out on.
and I don't at all. And I'm looking, and I'm like, I'm sitting like I normally sit. What the hell's
You're
wrong?
right-handed, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, there's the reason.
But still, that's not what I look like on camera. My shoulder doesn't look like this on camera. I don't know, but yeah, it looks weird. Because they said I look awkward or like I'm uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, it does look like I'm like awkward and uncomfortable.
Uh-huh. You know why?
Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Jason Jordan will be the face of WWE. I wish.
It's his right shoulder, TJ. And it's not steroids.
No one uses the shoulder. That's weird.
Oh, people calling out your shirt.
LIJ shirt. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to take it off and put on an LIJ shirt.
Are you really going to do that?
They told me to.
Oh, my God.
Albert, you have to be
You're a mark for your fan base.
Yeah. I know you worship Vince, so you don't believe in listening to your fans, but it's a thing that has to
That's
happen.
right. The Jared said you look weird with your Bullet Club T-shirt.
Like I said, I do look weird on camera today. I don't know.
TJ thinks that you're going to come in naked.
Fuck. Albert wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get kicked off of YouTube real quick.
Oh, man. If I denied it, it was just going to become a running joke. I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You always have to.
Oh, no. You want to listen to your fan base? Harry Flynn said put on a Nikki Bella shirt.
I don't have one, buddy.
He said he doesn't have one. I'm sorry, Harry. So that means he doesn't listen to his fan base. First 30 minutes of Raw, I've seen 2 minutes of wrestling. What difference does that make from most other Raws?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Guys, if you want to look, and this is the thing, if you want to watch a professional wrestling show,
go to NWA.
Yeah, don't watch Raw. Raw has never been a wrestling show. It's been sports entertainment since the beginning.
Do you know what the first match on Monday Night Raw ever was?
I should know this, but I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Yokozuna versus Coco Beware.
It's so... Damn it,
It's such a weird one.
I do know the main event, though.
It's such a weird one.
The main event's just as weird. Undertaker and Damien Demento? That's a fucking weird one.
That makes more sense to me. Demento is like kind of a weird gothic character. I know. Look, don't get me wrong. I get it. But there's a cohesion there. Coco Beware and Yokozuna makes no sense. That's just throwing random names at the wall. That was a random name generator.
Yeah, we have to have Yoko squash somebody. Who's back here? Coco!
And plus Coco Beware on Monday Night Raw by itself is an odd statement.
I agree.
So Damien Demento, he is a Raw era guy.
Yeah. Tim, this is not the 70s anymore.
Cheap plugging. Harry Flynn knew it. Yes, I am cheap plugging. Put a Rock shirt, the true star of the Attitude Era. I disagree with. I agree with half of that, but disagree with the other half. I don't know. They called me a jobber. Well, that's not nice.
I think it's pretty fair.
He's not a jobber. Warhog Rambo is one of the OGs around here. Revival just lost. Wait, they lost the belts?
No, I think they just lost the tag. They lost the tag match to Alistair and Ricochet.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of how they're calling these guys up anyway.
Me neither.
I mean, first of all, Gargano and Ciampa shouldn't go anywhere near the main roster until their feud is done in NXT.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But sports entertainment is a form of professional wrestling. Not really anymore.
No, it is. I said this in one episode. It's like, do you remember WCMAC Masters, that old show?
Yeah.
I was like saying, if sports entertainment is really a thing unto itself, then it can't apply to just wrestling. That should count as sports entertainment. It's karate entertainment. Harlem Globetrotters should count as sports entertainment.
Sure.
But it doesn't. No one ever says
American Gladiators.
Yes. Well, no, because that's not rigged. It's got to be rigged. I'm saying...
Oh, I see.
It should apply... The formula should apply to other things. And it doesn't. And because it only applies... People only call wrestling sports entertainment, then the term sports entertainment is not a thing unto itself. And therefore, it's not a category. Then, therefore, sports entertainment is wrestling. Because until something that's not wrestling gets that title, I
don't necessarily agree. Football's football. Nothing else is ever going to be football.
Yeah, but football is a sport. There are other things that are sports. If the only thing that was a sport was football, then sport and football are interchangeable terms. But because there are other things that are sports, it's no longer synonymous with just football.
I usually have a snappy comeback, but I can't think of one for that one. Touche. I'll think of something.
If WWE was wrestling in the 70s, what were they in the 80s? Superheroes?
It was still... That was the start of sports entertainment, really. You remember when Vince McMahon took over from his father, that's when sports entertainment, that's what he wanted. He wanted the spectacle. He wanted the allure of...
He wanted to be deregulated. You were gonna dodge that one, didn't you? Super chat from Base Up, you the man. Base Up with another super chat. So generous. Thank you. No, I don't know what that means. FTRR.
I mean, I know if you took the R off after that, it's the whole Cody gimmick with the revival, but I don't know why there's an extra R there.
I don't know what any of this stuff means. The hashtags, I never know what they mean. The TL, DL, or DR, or whatever that thing that people say is, I don't know what that means.
That's a Reddit thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it is either. I just know it's a Reddit thing.
Okay, well, yeah, there are tons of things that I don't know what it means. So do I get it? No, I don't. Dave said Nikki Bella is the GOAT. I did. Harry, were you here? I think maybe it was Friday where someone said that they liked Brie better than Nikki. Were you here when someone said that? Release TJP. Do you think that is a good move? So if so, why? No, I don't think it's a good move. I mean, we talked about this a little earlier with WCB, but I don't think it's a good move.
I think it's better for TJP. I think he'll be used better on the Indies.
He wasn't beforehand.
That's not true.
TNA used him all right. I wouldn't say great.
He was Cruiserweight champion there. Or whatever, the X Division champion, whatever they call that belt.
My thing about TJ is I thought he had a lot more left to offer, and I don't think they utilized him as well. But yeah, Base Up, thank you so much. And if you want to tell us what that means, yeah.
TJ, I'll have a Discord when I have more than 20 some odd subscribers to my YouTube channel.
So when you have like 30?
No, that's still too little. I need to get in the Dave range.
Wow.
Feel good about yourself?
Yeah, I was going to say, well.
Yeah.
Flattery.
Yeah, I didn't mean to flatter you. Hold on, my eBay app is going off. Oh, somebody shipped me something. Oh, my Hasbro Demolition Crush is coming. It's really important. What? That's important.
I think we have very different definitions of the word important.
Action figure collecting is very important.
Yeah, we have very different definitions of the word important.
Apparently, if we ask Matt Jackson, we'll know what that hashtag means. He's the only one who knows.
Oh, okay. I also don't know which Jackson is which. I think Matt's the darker-haired one.
Yes. What, you really don't know that?
I mix up tag team. Tag team people, like, I'm the worst at trying to remember which tag team is which guy.
Fair enough.
Because I made that joke on the Usos on this promo. A lot of people realize the gag. Because some of them, like, when I was a kid, I really couldn't tell the Smoking Guns part. As an adult, now I can. Like, if I look at pictures, I know which one's Billy Gunn now. But as a kid, they were both the same dude to me. Beverly Brothers, same guys to me when I was a kid. And now, because I don't care about the Beverly Brothers.
Bo and Blake?
Yeah.
Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom? Come on.
I think I can tell them apart.
What's the significance of Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom?
Mike Enos was in a match that Scott Hall interrupted when he came to WCW.
Against Wayne Bloom.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that counts as significant, but yeah.
That's the most significant thing they've ever done. Except jobs.
You're right, but still.
Except jobs to the Bushwhackers.
Them I could always tell apart. Even when I was a kid, I always could tell them apart, which is weird. Like,
yeah, because they look a lot. They look a lot alike.
Bashams, forget it.
Yeah, the Bashams weren't even twins either.
Yeah, no, I'm terrible at that. The Bellas, I could tell them apart when one got surgery.
Enhancements?
Yeah, and also because of Harry making sure I could really tell them apart. Harry has made it very clear which one was which.
I don't think that Daniel Bryan's a bad heel at all. I think he's better as a heel than he was as a babyface.
I think he is current heel run. I didn't like.
Yeah, he's saying it right now.
The no stuff. Eh.
He's not. He's awesome on the mic. What are you talking about?
If you don't like him, that means he's being effective. That's kind of the slippery slope here. But but if you're saying he has go away heat instead, then okay.
Which I disagree.
I don't think he does, but he might with you. Is there really such a thing called PG era, or fans coined that term? Well, Define really. It's not like the year 2019 where it's, a year. And even that, humans made it up. Same thing with Attitude Era. The Attitude Era is not a real thing. It's not like the Mesozoic period or something. And even that was made up by people. So
So, I mean, really right now, we're in the new era. Before this, we were in the reality era. I mean, that's what the WWE is calling these, these branches of, of time. But
which I don't think that's the reality era is not a thing.
I mean,
to me, I think it's ruthless aggression, and then it goes right into PG. That's how I feel.
I think there never was a PG era, though. I think that's what
That's what we're calling it, but still.
I think that's what the reality era was.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's all the same thing. I don't separate the two. But they are in a new era. The old. Oh yeah, no, that's right. They're listening to fans now.
Yeah, you don't see it.
A lot of people say John Cena and Tanahashi is something they want to see. I'm not opposed to it, but I never would pair that together. Like
I do.
My New Japan WWE crossover match is always going to be Okada and Randy Orton.
Oh no, 100%.
That's the one I want to see.
I just want to see them drop each other for a half hour.
Like I want to see Tanahashi and Seth Rollins.
Oh,
I'd rather see that than Cena and Tanahashi.
Can you imagine how many sling blades would be in that match?
Like, who's counting? It'd be hard for Seth Rollins to know what to do since he can't copy off of the guy he's currently wrestling.
Hey!
Whoa!
Stop making fun of my boy.
I like Seth Rollins.
I know you do.
And I'm going to meet him WrestleMania weekend, so I should probably...
Are you really?
Oh, yeah, Capital Wrestling.
I'm going to super kick you.
Capital Wrestling doing a seminar.
So I'm coming with you?
If you want to.
All right. Thank God.
But, it'd be nice if you were around to meet Steve, but, you could only be around on Mondays.
Tell him to be around on Mondays.
He's got Capital Wrestling stuff to do, man.
Don't make excuses for him.
No, I'm not.
I have a lot of other stuff to do. I have a 9-to-5 job.
It's okay if you just don't prioritize wrestling as much as me and Steve do.
I have a hot girlfriend.
And Seth Rollins. Again, that's also proof that you don't like wrestling enough.
No, it just proves I'm not a mark.
No. We're in the newest era, Dave. Get your facts. No, you're right. We're in the newest era now. WWE needs more outside segments like Steve Austin being CEO. I was just thinking about that earlier. I liked that time period.
Yeah, I agree.
Or that angle, should I say. It was a good way to slowly transition Austin out.
Yeah.
They needed to do something with him. They weren't ready to lose him yet. And I did like to, and I wish they made it into a shirt. I'm trying not to lose my patience. Like, yeah. He was like, I loved that. And then the fans were just, lose it. Like, I really, really liked that. And as good as you could have done, considering the circumstances.
This is why Austin was a master on the mic. He was perfect in every sense. He was just a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
Yeah. Dave, Bree, Gulak, and Harper should join Bray's faction. Interesting.
That's weird. Oh, sorry, guys. I keep yawning. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning. It's my life. Jesus, what is going on?
I woke up at 11.
Rub it in. This is what I get for having a horrible 9-to-5 job.
That's right. I'm working now.
So, Jimmy James, let's bring that up to Dave because Dave is not a big fan of that segment.
No, there's fans of, but it's
the
and huh? Oh, the grocery store thing. I thought you were pointing at the Dean thing. I'm like, what do I have a problem with Dean thing?
No.
Oh. Yeah, well, I don't really like I don't like goofy slapsticky stuff, but I got that comment a lot on my most popular video. People talking about how that was gold. And it's like...
I loved it.
I know a lot of people do. So, like, I didn't know that until I made that video, until I saw the feedback. I was like, well, I'll be. I thought this was like something everyone thought was stupid. But evidently, no, it's pretty popular amongst people.
Apparently, the gift of Dave is to rub it in, man.
Nice.
Dave, what's your favorite Nikki Bella moment?
Favorite Nikki Bella moment? Her entrance.
Hey, you can look,
but you
can't touch.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how long it was, but it was way longer than it should have been. Every time she opened up the shirt, the first shirt, yeah. I fell for it like every time for like probably years. I'm like, did she just? Oh wait, no, there's a shirt over it. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I fell for it for probably like 3 years every time. Like an idiot. Like, oh wait, no, nothing happened. I don't fall for it anymore. Every once in a while, she will get me though. I'm like, wait, nope.
I gotta say one thing. In seeing all these Total Divas commercials and such, Nikki's she just looks phenomenal in a tight dress.
Look, not for nothing. I don't like weddings, but I will say, and it obviously didn't go anywhere. But the scene of proposal, I think if he was going to, I'm sorry, Harry. I was just saying. Look, shit, it's her entrance. It's not my fault. But I'm just saying the proposal thing. If that had worked out, that would have been nice. So that would have been nice if that proposal went there.
Yeah.
If it actually turned into something. Maybe not for you, Harry. Maybe you want her to stay single, but still.
Yeah, it's true.
Until she gets with you.
Yeah, TJ, Dave doesn't like good wrestling television.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Yeah. Because you don't like things?
I don't like, see, here's the weird, I don't like a lot of slapsticky, goofy comedy. In general, food fights on TV I don't find funny. I did when I watched...
Food fights are different than the grocery store thing.
There's a difference?
There's a lot of a difference.
Please. You have the floor.
A food fight is literally just a bunch of guys throwing food at each other, and that's it. This was a whole grocery... This is a fight just happened to be in a grocery store.
Where they throw food at each other.
He used the elements around him.
Wow, so it's like ninja training. Be aware of your surroundings, right? This was like ratio... Okay. Well,
that's right.
What was I thinking? Hey, do you think we'll win New Japan Cup? Ooh, good question.
Who's in... Is anybody announced yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who's announced so far?
Yeah. Because it's going to be hard for me to choose a winner. I'll choose the wrong winner because I always do.
Don't get me wrong, Pyro. Hunk, I have mentioned this on my video about comedy and wrestling. There are times where I think comedy and wrestling is important. But I like more like what Joe Gertner, The Rock, Rodney Piper. I like it when you say something funny rather than like physical comedy in wrestling. But I especially don't like it when, and this is where this goes in a gray area, but one of the comments that I got, or a frequent comment I got on that episode, which I agree with a lot of people, is that keep the comedy outside the ring. When it's the ring, it's business. And I like that.
They have the matches announced apparently.
But the grocery store, you can just...
Well, I mean, this way we can see what everybody's talking about, and then I can...
Okay. Yeah. But keeping the wrestling, keeping the in-ring stuff serious. And that's the thing about the Booker T Stone Cold thing was, yeah, it wasn't in the ring, but it was a fight. And that's why it doesn't sit 100% with me. The Iconics greater than Cody Rhodes, that's an interesting statement.
Yeah.
It says well, his name is Big Virgil, which I think is... I want to know, is that a reference to Virgil or Dusty?
Is this all just going to be in tweet form? Can you not just give me a bracket? What a horrible article.
They have matches and hook it up. Plus, they got Naito versus Ibushi in the first round.
All right.
Wow.
Okada versus Michael Elgin.
Okada.
Mikey Nichols versus...
I will say this. G1, if I get to see Okada take the belt off of Jay White, I will lose my mind. If I'm there live and I get to see Okada win the belt, I'm going to straight
I hope you do.
I hope you do. I am going to explode.
And in all honesty, this is not me saying I dislike Jay White. I don't think he's ready.
I have 3 signed Okada dollars.
I love it.
So I am going to lose and I have a limited edition first press. Speaking of action figures, Okada New Japan action figure. Thank you, Chucky.
That's awesome, actually.
I cannot express how badly I am just going to go. I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to mark out. In the garden, there's no other. There's nothing else they can add to this because I don't want to see Jay White with that belt. I would like to see Okada with it.
You always want to see Okada with it.
So no, Tanahashi having it is fine too.
That's fair.
But I will lose my mind like there's no tomorrow.
I'm only saying,
Harry, I would love to attend your wedding to Nikki Bella.
That's cool. I didn't know they were getting married.
You should make an honest woman ever since Cena apparently isn't up for the task. Speaking of the test, I should check on the clash.
There's only 4 matches announced? It's usually more than that, right? I'm not crazy? Degenerate, what do me and you agree on? Because based up, you don't think that Okada's going to win the belt? I mean, I kind of agree. I don't think so. But, hey, Andrew Sullivan, what's up, man? Dave doesn't like comedy and wrestling. That's the same reason I don't like promos in the ring. The ring is for wrestling. Then you should be a WWE fan because we know that that's not the case. And New Japan does promos in the ring too. Oh, good. Again, I don't dislike Jay White, Degenerate. I just don't think he's ready for that spot. I think that a lot of people talk a lot of crap about. There was a lot of crap talked about, like when Nakamura won the title, that he wasn't ready. When the first time Okada challenged for the title, they said that he wasn't ready. I mean, a lot of people say these certain things like that. This is an instance where I had to agree. I just never thought. I know that they lost Balor, they lost Styles, they lost Adam Cole. Well, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Ring of Honor, but they lost. Why am I drawing blanks here? They lost their Gaijin, Kenny Omega. So they lost their top Gaijin people. That's why Jay White was put in that spot. I like Jay White. I just don't think that he's ready. You think the 4 matches from the MSG show is bad? 2 matches have been announced for the Fastlane in 10 days. Oh, no. I was just questioning if there was more than just those 4 announced. I'm not saying it was bad. I was just questioning if it was just those 4 that were announced. Harry, I always agree. The hardcore title for life. I think Jay White needs to improve before I like him. That's fair. Again, TJ, I completely agree. I just don't think he's ready. See, Jimmy, do you just dislike everything that goes on in WWE? Because you're watching the show now. I mean, and that's my thing. I've said this before. I don't think I've seen you on the stream too often. When I've been on here, my thing is that if you're not a big fan of this of the WWE, kind of just shouldn't be watching it at this point. You think they're disappointing. You think you didn't like the 25 minutes of no wrestling. You think that promos are only meant for the ring. That's not WWE. It's never been WWE. It's just the way it is. I'm not telling you don't watch it. I'm saying you can expect it to be something that it never has been. Lightning Blitz, Dave always streams on Mondays. Usually we sign off in about another 5 minutes. He does stream on Fridays, but he also streams on Mondays with me every week. Naito will win the title over Jay White at Sakura Genesis or Dominion. Maybe. I mean, it's certainly Naito's turn at this point there. Independent Wrestling, AAA, CMLL can't take the WWE product, but it's still like the show, bro. I mean, fair enough. But if that's the case, you can't. But just don't expect it to be Don't expect it to be something that never has been, and don't expect it to liken to your style because your style is not the same as what their style has been for all these years. I can still not like the way that they're doing it. I stopped watching it. I know what it is right now. I like the WWE. And look, I'm not saying you can dislike it all you want, but by watching it, you're just, you know what I mean? Like if you're watching it, then all you're doing is you're just basically telling everybody straight up that it's okay. I'll keep watching you, keep giving you your ratings, even if I don't like anything that's going on. Especially with all the money they make off the LIJ merch, it's definitely time for Naito to win. I agree. I think this is Naito's turn. I think that it has been for a while. I think the whole Intercontinental title thing where he disrespected the belt. I think that was a great gimmick for Naito. I think that he's grown. I think he's grown as a wrestler. I think when he first was in the main event picture, I don't think he was ready, but I think he is now.
Naito conversation.
Yep.
I agree with that, but see, here's the interesting thing. New Japan has a habit of going with guys that aren't ready. Like I can't say it enough. Okada was very much not liked when he first started. They thought he was too young.
Nakamura.
And he was young. He was young. Let's not. He was a kid.
Yeah. Nakamura too was the example I brought up.
Yeah. But they won the fans up. Well, Nakamura had to leave and come back, but
right.
But Okada had to win the fans over, and some people argued that Kenny wasn't ready. I disagree with that.
I disagree. I think Kenny was ready.
But I heard some people say that it was a little rushed. I don't think so.
My thing is that
he wrestled a blow-up doll and a child, so I mean, I think he paid his dues. That's kind of where I looked at it.
And my other thing about that is that I think that he was in the main event picture for a long time. People were waiting for it to happen. And you know that New Japan likes to have their one big gaijin star. That's always been their thing. It was Balor. It was Styles. It was
but he was
Jay
still
White
the first
now.
person to win.
It was Omega. Now it's Jay White. You know, I mean, they always like to have that one guy on the top.
Jay White.
I agree. I completely agree.
What up, Andrew Sullivan?
I'm just yelling at people that they're telling me they don't like the WWE and they want it to be something that they literally never has been. So I don't know why.
It's interesting that, like, for you guys who are joining the chat right now, and you're like, and you just see Albert, you must be like very confused. Why? What do they want WWE to be?
Well, Jimmy James was saying how throughout the entire chat.
Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way.
Jeez, Heidenreich, just don't bring that name up. That's horrible. He was saying that the ring should only be for wrestling, not for promos. He was saying that that a lot of this.
Well, that was true for a period of time,
and not for a while though. He was saying that he wants WWE to be more based around wrestling. That's just not what the WWE is. It never was.
The WWE, but the World Wrestling Federation, Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
The Worldwide Wrestling Federation, yes. The World Wrestling Federation,
but even so,
point.
It also has to change. Things have to go with the times. Things have to change. It's the one inevitable thing you can always count on is that things can and always will change.
And I agree, TJ.
TJ Fritz, you will like an upcoming episode.
I completely agree. Wrestling needs a story.
But my thing is, you don't have to sacrifice one to get the other. The idea of not having stuff in the ring appeals to me for certain reasons. How do you feel about them just cutting promos on the ramp, like on the stage, instead of being on the promo? My thing is, for television-wise, I don't like having the theater around because it's unnatural for a performer. Like, a lot of people don't understand this, but the acoustics of the ring where things are focal put in, sometimes people get thrown off when they're hearing all the time. Yeah. And like on TV, it may not sound that loud, but when you're standing there and everyone's booing you, it sounds louder than you think. Also, when you have people looking at you, you want to address all of them, but because of a hard cam, you're only looking in one direction, even though you know people are behind you. And in a lot of cases, for low attendance shows, there's nobody where the guy is looking. All the people are behind them, and you're just talking to empty seats while somebody's talking behind you. So it's an awkward situation to put guys in, which is why I don't mind that. And I do prefer backstage vignettes. I miss backstage vignettes.
I do too.
I know they still have them, but I mean the old school one where they have, the green screen of the guy's logo behind them superimposed in there. Because I thought that was like in the 80s and the 90s, that I thought was good. And it cuts, and you can edit, and you could, give them guys a couple of takes, and I think some people work better that way. Capital Wrestling does backstage pre-tapes, so.
Pyro Hunk, I completely agree. Backstage sessions where people get jumped and getting out of their car and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. Lightning Blitz, just want to throw this out there, because I'm tired of people saying that the Roman thing is a work. Google, first page, remission induction therapy. This is the first round of treatment given the first 3 to 4 weeks after diagnosis. It's designed to destroy most of the leukemia cells, stop the symptoms of the disease, return the blood counts to a normal level. It takes only a few months for people to recover fully. So I'm just shooting you down there.
So they're in on it too.
Cancer's not a work. I'm sorry. Just anybody who says that is immediately going to get me pissed off.
And if there was their goal, then...
What, to piss me off?
Yeah.
I'll dropkick everybody.
You're a mark. You can't dropkick people through a computer screen. It's a me. Please stop yelling, says King Ivan. And that guy's a king.
He doesn't rule me.
Apparently he does. He's the 31st King Ivan. I think.
Ivan?
His name was. It's King Ivan.
Whatever.
Lightning Blitz says, thank you for the update. I'm just saying, you can't get mad at people for assuming something.
No, and I didn't get mad at him. He just said that He thought that there was no way he recovered in 4 months.
Okay, it's professional wrestling. You can assume everything is a work, and I think it's fair to cross your mind. Like when I first was told about Eric Duell, who's been on the show, composes the introduction theme song. He was the one who told me about Chris Benoit. I'm like, wow, WWE's going there. Like my first thought was that's a storyline. And same thing with the screw job. But a lot of people talk. One thing that I think gets overinflated, like I said, people talking about the Vince McMahon momentum from the screw job and all this nonsense. A lot of people, myself included, just thought it was a storyline. I thought, and I know there's some people who say it's a work now, but I thought they let Brett go that way on purpose. Like, I thought they wrote the whole thing, the reaction, everything, and that was just the work. Like, I had no, like, whether it is a work or not, I don't know. But the point of the matter is, everything in professional wrestling, it's fair game for someone to, their first instinct to be, well, this has got to be a work. I understand that. Committing to it and holding on to the belief after a certain point in time, then yeah, then that becomes,
and that's my thing.
Right. But to pass your mind is perfectly natural. Because all they do is lie to you. Like, that's what professional wrestling is. It's just everybody's lying to you.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. My thing is to hold on to it for this long. But for somebody,
well, like you said,
for somebody like Lightning Bliss, who had said he was misinformed about things, about something like that, that's fine. But there are people who legitimately stand by it.
Okay.
And that's my issue. Life is a work, wrestling is a shoot.
There's a T-shirt that you should be making.
Wasn't there something like a Mr. Anderson TNA shirt that was something like that?
Oh, yeah, well, Mr. Anderson talking about injury in his wrist.
Oh, wrestling is real, people are fake, I believe. That was the T-shirt.
It's him talking about stuff like that. I wish it hadn't. Yeah, I wish Eddie and Benoit were still alive today. I do, too. And, of course, Benoit's family.
Yes.
That whole thing.
That whole thing, yeah. Harry, why would you put yourself through that?
Jimmy James, you're absolutely right. Because that's the thing. If it doesn't work, they really better hope nobody ever finds
out. And eventually it would come out. It really would. And you can't hide anything. All the secrets of the wrestling business have been exposed. Because somebody back there, even if it's just the only two people in the room were Roman and Vince, one of them is going to eventually come out with it.
How'd you like that match, Harry?
I said, why would you put himself through that?
How'd you like it? I don't know. Some people feel that way about, Thunderdome or the Chamber of Horrors match. Some people like it and some people hate it. That ends up there with the supermarket thing with Austin and Booker T, the Chamber of Horrors match in WCW.
That was way worse.
Some people hate it, but some people think it's amazing. That was awful. Something I never watched and I tried watching on Netflix? Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Half hour, didn't like it, couldn't watch it.
Really?
It's just so cheesy and goofy.
But that's kind of what we're supposed to do.
I don't like cheesy and goofy. I think we're going to establish that right now. If it's like campy, not to quote the Dean Ambrose, but I don't like the hokey stuff.
Fair enough. Look, I'm not going to.
I don't like the hokey stuff, so I quit it. And that's not a work, or is it? Well, Dave, thoughts on Kendall from again? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff.
Jesus, Jimmy James.
Woo. Like I don't want to be. I don't want to be Mr. Ultra Boring, but my favorite is just straight up one-on-one matches. I think lumberjack matches are completely pointless. I think there's
no. I agree.
That is awful.
I think it's fun to just get everybody out there. But I did hear a really funny story that Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins wanted to buy. They were doing lumberjack matches for the main event, and they wanted to buy everybody a literal flannel shirt.
They've done that
to wear as lumberjacks the entire time. No, just not at the office. They were going to go to Walmart and do it, and then Ryder backed out.
Likes the courage of his convictions.
I agree.
But I like ladder matches. Okay. I even like Dolph and Luke Harper when they wanted to just do a traditional one ladder. I thought that was a bold move on them. Good for them.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like TLC matches when done right. Yeah, I know that's just a ladder match, but still.
My thing is this. I like...
Nah, Harry, it's just bad to me.
I like any match type that you can present to me if it makes sense for the story. That's always the way I'm a story guy. If having a fatal 4-way just because you want to get 4 guys in the main event doesn't work for me. Having a Hell in a Cell match because the pay-per-view is named Hell in a Cell doesn't work for me.
The problem with that match is after Foley and Taker,
it'll never be topped.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'll never go back to I feel that way. It's been okay since. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not talking about the match, but the Money in the Bank. I think Edge ruined because he cashed it in a clever, intelligent, smart way, And because of that, everything had to live up to that from that point in time, and most of them aren't going to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, you just didn't see it coming. Like, it was like Rob Van Dam cashed in a one-night stand, and that made sense. It was fine, but it was not as cool as no one saw that coming. The chamber is coming up, and all of a sudden, it comes out the briefcase. It was like, it was such a big shock.
It was.
It was there, starting it right off the bat that strong. You know, so like I kind of think that was one of those times where it was just like, and it was great, but because you can't top it, like, what do you do now? Like,
I agree.
So like, I almost feel like they never should have done it again, or done it every like a couple of years.
See, Degenerate. Here's my thing. This is where I talk about why marks. It's all about marks, in my opinion. Look what you brought up. Not Montreal Screwjob. Let's just say, for instance, somebody legitimately thought the Roman thing is a work. Amazing how Punk's departure wasn't a work and Bryan's retirement wasn't a work. That was completely fine. I wonder why.
What? Huh?
No, because he asked if Montreal Screwjob is a work, then is Daniel Bryan's retirement a work and Punk's departure a work? And that's what I'm saying. Everybody takes that as being completely fine and being completely, fine and normal. And what happened?
He just questioned it.
No, he's bringing the. What I'm saying, nobody really ever questions that, and that's the same thing. It's all right that they're questioning the Roman Reigns thing because they think that WWE was so starved to get this guy over.
No. Here's the thing. The Daniel Bryan thing, there were not many, but there were people who thought it was a work. The Daniel Bryan retirement thing, there were a couple of people who did think that. Not many, I'll give you.
But nobody really stood by their convictions.
But I guarantee you, if Punk came back, there would be people who say it right now. Like if Punk came back if they book his return well, there would be tons of people screaming up and down that this whole thing was a work. I mean, they're saying that about Jarrett and the holding up the Intercontinental title that was planned all along. No matter what you say, there are people who are going to question it. And I think Dave's place of employment is a work.
It actually really is.
Yeah, this is actually just paper mache.
Yeah, there's nothing behind us.
No. Yeah, in prison match would be pretty rad. Punk should never come back. At this point, I would mark out like there's no more if he did, but at this point, I don't even see.
I don't even care anymore.
It won't go well.
I don't care. It's been too long.
And also the UFC thing, and he's too old. Or he's not too old, but he's close.
Nah. And yes, Daniel Bryan did say that he was forced to retire.
That's what I'm saying. But
that's not a work. Yes, he had to retire because of concussions. Because the doctors didn't say it. And then he said you have to retire, and then he said
it's not a work, but it's not as straightforward, accurate as WWE portrayed it to be because there were multiple doctors who said otherwise.
Right, but then he accepted it, and
that's what I'm saying. There are people who will say that. That's not a work, but it's not 100% on the up and up. Like, I understand what you're saying. That's kind of where, that's what I mean. There were people who said that.
Nobody really stands by that much, though.
Well, it's because wrestling moves on. No one cares anymore because he's back, so who cares? Who's going to talk about it anymore? There are very few things that people talk about in wrestling till the end of the time. Screwjob's going to be one of them, or at least for a very long time. I think the rest of my lifetime people are going to bring it up. But there are major incidences that people don't talk about. It's like when Ric Flair survived a plane crash, people don't talk about that like ever. He was in a plane that fell on land and he got up. It's like, and they were worried about kayfabe. They're like, we can't be seen together. Like, what? Why doesn't anyone bring this up?
Yeah, I completely agree.
Kerry Von Erich allegedly may or may not have had a foot. And no one talks about this. It's like,
that is a really good point.
I'm guilty of not bringing that up because I didn't bring it up on my Von Erich's video because to this day, I don't know if it's true or not. And I didn't want to bring it out there, in case it wasn't. So, because I knew that there's some things I will admit I omit from videos because I know I'm not going to win one way or the other. If I went out there and said Kerry Von Erich had a foot, had 2 feet, people are going to say, he didn't, you're an idiot. And if I said, no, he didn't, he was missing a foot, then people would say, yeah, no, he didn't, that's a work, you're an idiot. And then if I say, some people believe that he did and some people believe he did it, then I'm still going to hear, yes, he did, no, he didn't, you're an idiot. So, there's just certain things I just don't bring up because I know I'm not going to win no matter what I do.
Ric Flair's plane clashes will work.
See? There you go. But, so there's certain things that people will always bring up, that's what I'm saying. No one talks about that anymore. So you're right, people back off of Daniel Bryan think, well, people don't talk about Ric Flair surviving that plane crash, which may or may not have been a work. You see?
TJ's right. That's what happens when you try to land on Space Mountain.
Woo! you know, Flair, such great promo work, but probably my favorite line from Ric Flair ever will be, might be the oldest ride in the park, but it's still got the longest line. That will probably be my favorite Ric Flair quote ever. Like, ever. I don't think you'll ever top it.
Just that whole promo with him and Jay Lethal?
Yeah.
Money. Just absolute Ric Flair money. What? What? Him flipping out is just the greatest thing ever.
Where's he on your list?
Flair? I love Ric Flair. I do.
Top 10 or not? What?
Oh, I think he might like miss out. But it's not. But he's not far.
Oh, yeah.
That's my line. That's my line.
There are a lot of good ones, but that might be my favorite.
That was so good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of NXT. I think it's nothing but a glorified indie show. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's done better than most indie shows, and that's my thing about Jimmy James. He's not in my top 10. I know, shocking. Everybody thinks he's the greatest wrestler of all time. I think Brett was better, but that's just me. Now I'm being told that I'm wrong because Ric Flair's not in my top 10.
Albert.
Is he in yours?
No.
I didn't think so.
I have a video of my top 10.
Exactly.
The number one thing I get you, so first of all, again, I feel this way about the internet. Like, why do people care way too much about other people's opinions? Who cares? But the number one thing I get is that people can't believe I put The Rock at number 10 on my top 10 mic workers list. That they swear up and down it has to be number one. I'm like, he's not my favorite. I could care less that that you don't approve of that. That's just my opinion. And it's like,
right. And that's
what the internet's for. It's the same thing with the Oscars. This movie got snubbed. It should have won. And if it did, then you'd be complaining that there'd be other people complaining that some other movie got snubbed. And first of all, it's not your award show. The people give awards to whatever show they want to whatever movie they want to give it to. If you don't agree with them, then who cares about the award? That's kind of how I look at it.
Except the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody should have won, and anybody who says any different is wrong.
See? I'm saying, who cares? I don't care what. So they decided.
I really don't. I really thought that I actually would have.
I don't even know what won.
The Green Book?
I don't even know what that is.
That was my thing.
I get it. It's like
that's my thing too. My thing is that I actually saw 3 movies that were nominated, which never happens. I never see movies that are nominated for Best Picture. So I thought I had a 3 and however many other thing.
King Ivan, you got me by just writing opinions. Brett was the best. Yeah, there you go. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
You know, Flair's total package. No, that was Lex Luger.
That's right.
Silly Jimmy James. But yeah, no, I don't like. Let them give it to whoever they want to, and if they don't give it to your thing, don't sit there and complain until they do. Like, who cares?
Yep.
I don't care if they do.
Andrew Sullivan's 100% right. The Hurricane's the best wrestler of all time. Stand back.
He hates Shawn Michaels, therefore he is right.
Oh my God.
So big mark of quality.
Yes. Such a hater.
Hey, Hurricane is a hater.
Oh, that's fair.
And I salute you, Hurricane Helms.
And I'd like the Hurricane a lot.
Me too. Now. It's like I was always lukewarm on the Outlaws, and then I heard they hated Triple H. I'm like, whoa, the Outlaws are amazing. And I was like, now they're like buddies again with them, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Harry Flynn's comment was just right on.
Can't have.
I mean, just you saw the opportunity. Took it.
Yeah, I got it. Yep. Good for you, Harry.
Yeah.
Good for you for sure.
Yeah, Jimmy James, a great match. Flair versus Sting. That's great. I'm not denying it. I love Ric Flair. He's just not in my personal top 10. I don't understand why our opinions are so. Again,
I don't understand why you keep fighting the current. Just let it go.
But the thing is that it's not set in stone. My favorite wrestler of all time is Chris Jericho.
No, you're wrong.
A lot of people.
You're wrong. It's not. No, you're wrong. The best wrestler of all time. Oh, I think let's do now a super chat. Oh, wait. No. Well, either way, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Lightning Blitz, great. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. Again,
can I ask you a question?
As well as Base Up. Yeah, what's up?
Do you ever get super chats on Friday?
Yeah. I get most of them on Friday. Why? You think
it's all because of me.
No, I get more of them on Friday.
That's a lie. Stop lying.
I can show you.
I don't believe you at all.
Especially because
I've actually been in a bunch of your live streams on Friday.
I got $100 in one day on a Friday.
Was that from one person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was only one. You got a whole bunch here. It just happened to be a smaller amount.
I get $6 here. It was Fridays by far.
I believe it's 8. I think you got 4 super chats today.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, it was 3 people, and yes, that's true.
Yeah. So
right.
Let's see.
And
I
keep hearing things. That's why I gotta keep checking on stuff. I gotta just make sure everything's all right.
Thank you, Andrew. I completely agree with that. By the way, Andrew, if you think I'm better than Dave, Facebook.com, YouTube.com, search for the Slam Sessions, and you'll find me, and you can subscribe to my show because I'm better than Dave. And that's fine, Jimmy James. Jericho's not in your top 10. That's fine. Ric Flair's not in mine. I'm not saying that your opinion is wrong or my opinion is right. That's fine. TJ Fritz, I don't even know if Dave's class knows that we're live streaming right now. And Andrew Sullivan, that's just not nice. So yeah. Look, for me, I just think Jericho's all around the person who's entertained me more than anybody else. The guy reinvented himself more than anybody else. Never came out doing the same old shtick. He was never the same guy. Jericho, to me, is number one. I love Bret Hart. I love Macho Man Randy Savage. Those are my 2 and 3 for me. But Macho Man was the same guy all the time. Bret was always the same guy. Jericho has never been the same guy in his career, and I love that. Harry, you are. Except you're not better than me. But you are better than Dave. So, yeah. That's that. Anybody else watching Raw? Do we know what's going on? Anything good? Ooh, yeah. Dig it. I love Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect's another fantastic, talent, underrated, in my opinion. I think that he's rated, by wrestlers as being really well, and a lot of fans just him never getting a title run, I think, really hurt him. He should have been world champion. I think he should have beat Hogan for the belt, but then again, I think anybody should beat Hogan for the belt because I don't like Hogan. And there's another person. Yeah, I agree, Jimmy James. He could work with anybody. I've never seen anybody sell a punch like Mr. Perfect sold Andre the Giant's punch. Chris Jericho, The Undertaker for me, Jericho. But Undertaker's up there for me for that same reason. He always reinvented himself. Even if it wasn't with the character, it was always, like his moveset and stuff like that. King Ivan, I am a writer. I don't need one. I'm just there. I didn't put Flair on my 20. Jericho misses the mark at 21. And that's fair. A lot of people... I completely agree that Macho Man's the only reason we can like the Mega Powers.
You're such a hater. Just Hogan hate.
Hogan sucks. Whatever.
So he's an entertainer. It's sports entertainment. It's about money and Vince McMahon and all that. It's so amazing that everything you say about all your other guys, for some reason, isn't true about Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. 100% agree.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Vince McMahon made Hulkamania. Hulkamania didn't make WWE.
Sure.
That's right.
Drink that Kool-Aid all you want. Top 12, says Roberto. So what I miss?
Undertaker, Sting, Brett, Shawn, Punk, Daniel Bryan, Styles, Omega, Benoit, Aries, Jericho, and Joe. Nobody I can disagree with on that list.
Oh, I can, but...
one person you can disagree with.
You know what I always like, though? I like it when people have, eclectic lists. I don't think mine is very eclectic, but I do appreciate it when people have, a list that's, all out there, and then you get to really see what people...
I can't even, I don't even know if I can really put together a top 10 list right now. I have to actually really think about it.
I said the same thing
hard.
I said the same thing when I made the video. I was like, this is as of this recording, because there's a good chance if you ask me after I'm done making this, it will change.
I know that, my first 3 are very similar. I think Jericho, Savage, Brett, they're all in that same, a little bit smaller.
They're close, but yeah.
A lot, they were workers more than anything else.
Brett's a little more grounded than the other 2.
Yeah, agreed. But then right after that, on my list, Austin and Mick Foley.
But that's the other thing. But what about Harley Race? See, that's the thing. Whenever you make any list, you're always going to exclude somebody. There's going to be every top 10 list. Really, you want to jam 50 people in there.
Right.
You know what's funny? What's really funny to me is how the internet works. People say the word fact on the internet when it doesn't mean fact ever.
Yeah. Agreed.
Or theory, and they use that wrong, or they use literally wrong. But how about this? Why don't we just start using top 10 wrong?
Yeah.
Top 20 have 20 guys in it. Like, just screw it. Like, just say, hey, forget it.
That's actually a Bruce Pritchard gimmick.
Oh, yeah?
Conrad will always ask him, is that your top 5? He's like, oh, yeah, top 5. Everything is always top 5. But, but that's the way it is.
Why not? Just.
But, that's it. Everybody, look, not everybody's going to agree. Andrew Sullivan says that Wade Barrett is in his top 10. I don't know if he's in anybody else's top 10, including Wade Barrett. But, but we both love Wade Barrett. He's just not there. Undertaker is the real Mr. WrestleMania, just like we're
Thank you, Roberto. So I think that all the time. I said that in the honest promo.
That's fair.
Of the douchebag, and yet people gave me crap about that.
Which douchebag?
The douchebag.
You talking about Sean?
Yeah.
Meh.
I said, how are you Mr. WrestleMania when the Undertaker is here? That makes no sense. And people are like, obviously you don't understand that it's because of the quality of his matches. Yeah, quality of his matches. Yeah, they're all so stellar. Watching him just lie down for a while.
They really were, though.
Well, they were not.
His match against Angle, his match against Jericho, both of his matches against Undertaker. Come on, Dave.
Match against Angle, I'll give you. The match against Jericho was all right. I put it the Flair match over the Jericho match.
I was going to say Flair, too. But
here's the thing. I don't love that match. From a technical standpoint, it's two old men flopping around. But I get the story. That's the thing. I get the story. I get that. And so this is how I look at it. If you are a technical guy, which I think I've established that I am.
Yes, you are.
I'm not going to like most of Shawn Michaels' matches for what he does because he doesn't have an expensive moveset. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
But if you want to give him storytelling, which I don't think he's the best by any stretch of imagination or even good at it, because I think he told the same story over and over again, for the most part, with a few exceptions. There are a few exceptions. One of them was a Flair. That was a good story. So if you want to just take him if you want to put storytelling as a metric unto itself, I understand that. I typically don't. I do stray from that wheelhouse once in a while, but I typically don't. If you want to take, especially like Austin, I love Austin at his best when he was still before he broke his neck. That's like the Austin I really like.
Okay.
But if you want to take Shawn Michaels and say the storytelling aspect, then I have to give it to the Ric Flair one because that was the best story I think he told at a Mania. Just from a storytelling. I like the Angle match because it's more technical because Angle carried him through it.
And the Jericho match had a good story.
I didn't think so. Again, we went into this like previously. This idea that Jericho idolized Shawn Michaels, true or not the point. They pulled this off like Jericho was this young child, like fighting his daddy. And I was like, the guy had the undisputed title the year before. Like, what are we talking about here? Why are we making it sound like Jericho's playing catch-up to this guy? I was like, are you crazy? And this guy's been out of the game for 4 years? Like, it should be the other way around. Like, the story, I could not take seriously. I just could not. They were treating Jericho like he was a 21-year-old fresh out of the dungeon. Like, what are we doing here? I just couldn't buy it.
It wasn't that. It was the first chance he got to wrestle as idol.
I get it. It just, no, I'm sorry. And Jericho, I've had this, and what makes it worse is, he goes, and then a couple years later, he goes against Superfly, Piper, and Steamboat, and that was like beneath him. It's like, I just don't get it.
It was beneath him.
3-1. It's like, I just don't understand the booking of it. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Undisputed title. Oh, that was mere pittance. Beating Stone Cold and The Rock the same night. Mere pittance compared to going against Shawn Michaels.
Anything with this man involved, I'm going the wrong way. Anything with this man involved always makes sense.
Mere pittance compared to going against Shawn Michaels. And then let's go against 3 legends. Oh, and that's nothing. Just don't understand. I just don't get it. Jericho, look, I'll be the first to say Jericho, I think...
What's he rank on your list?
He's pretty high.
Okay.
Well, until Shawn Michaels think he was in the top 10. Anyway.
Oh, you're an asshole.
But here's the thing. I got into this argument with a couple of friends of mine. And I'm not taking away from Jericho, but did he have a great WWE career? All around.
I think so.
I feel they misused him. or I felt he wasn't given enough credit.
I do think he wasn't being
I've
given
attacked that a lot, and I got crap for it saying, dude, he won how many world championships? He has the record for Intercontinental, and okay, fine. And that kind of got me to back off on it. But for a very long time, I was complaining about how Jericho's.
I do agree.
And that's why I said great. I think it's unarguable that he had a good career. I don't think we can deny that.
Real quick, Roberto Soto, Daniel Bryan went to Shawn Michaels wrestling school.
And he was trained by him for like 5 minutes.
Right. But that's
William Regal is
they never said that Shawn was his trainer. They said he went to Shawn's school.
No, but the work was they exaggerated the relationship between the two of them. Okay, and we know that. So and plus, let's also William Regal was the one who really trained him, and also he only went there because Dean Malenko's school closed down. So let's also remember that the guy really wanted to go to Dean Malenko's school. So yeah,
he thought Shawn was.
So he said Daniel, and what he said was Shawn Michaels was not Daniel Bryan's trainer. That's true. He didn't say. You're saying all they said was he just went to a school. That's not what he was refuting. He was refuting who trained him, and that is 100% correct.
I trained him.
Oh, Jericho,
Hurricane, Jericho, Undertaker, British Bulldog, and Bret Hart. That's a solid list.
Alleged murderer, Harry Flynn, never been proven.
Nah, well that's because he's dead now.
Either way, it hasn't stopped the jury from people speculating on Fabulous Moolah now, has it?
I think that's horseshit too.
Okay,
that's just me.
Exaggerations are tight. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. But yeah, so if you wanted to go from the storytelling, I think out of all of his WrestleMania matches, I would say it would probably. Well, and here's the other thing: I do like the ladder match between him and Razor, although I don't think unfortunately, that doesn't hold up as well. Like, it doesn't hold up as well as it did at the time. Like at the time, it was.
Well, I mean, it's. I know.
It's just normal escalation, but that's the problem with hot shutting, if you want to call it that, which I don't.
I don't think it was really hot shot.
I don't think so either, but there are people who called it that.
I mean, that was a logical sense. They both had Intercontinental title. What are you going to do with it? Just suspend them both. Whoever gets both of them wins. I was fine with it. It was booked well.
Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't hold up as well as it is. But that's natural with escalation. Yeah. It's not surprising. But like the weird thing is like the first TLC that wasn't really a TLC, the triangle, the triple threat ladder match, WrestleMania 2000. Or 16, whatever you call it.
2000.
That is still the best one to me.
I completely agree.
I like that one better than anything close.
I think so too. As much as
the one at the following year
more stunts and stuff like that. That was the best. It was the best laid out match.
Yes, and I completely agree. That's one of my favorite matches ever. But I've already established I have a very weird list of favorite matches.
Everybody has there's.
Well, mine is mostly weird matches. I don't have anything that you could constitute. Well, I'll put it this way. Roman Reigns does make one of my favorite matches. It's in the Shield, but Shield versus Wyatt, the first time they ever won it. It's one of my favorite matches.
Yeah. Such a good match.
The hype alone.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. I don't care what they did. They could have sat there and played tiddlywinks, and I still would have loved it, and I just would have been working out the whole time like an idiot.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I really just don't care what they could have done anything.
So give me 2 more examples. I want to hear.
I say Triple H versus Shelton Benjamin round 1. I really like.
But
that's a storyline. That's a storytelling reason.
Yeah.
Because it's sure not on Triple H's end. Also, Brett versus Austin. While I love WrestleMania 13, I like their Survivor Series match better.
Oh, so do I. 100% so do I.
But it's more technical, so I'm gonna like that one more.
Yeah. I mean, I like the story, the finish in the story.
Because everyone calls that the Brett finish, not the Brett pin. Everybody calls it that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if everyone calls it. I know I call it that, but I don't know if everyone else does it. I know I do it. But yeah, that's one of them for sure. And most people are going to say, "You mean the WrestleMania 13 match?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I mean the Survivor Series one." I know that sounds odd, but that's the one. Brett's last good Survivor Series match ever.
Again, another unpopular opinion. Harry gave his list, and it's a good list. I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan.
I'm not an Edge guy.
See, I am. Edge.
I like Jeff Hardy more than Edge.
Oh, no way.
I like Matt Hardy more than Jeff. But
100%. Edge. It's hard. Edge. At one point, it was my guy in WWE.
He's not technical enough for me, and he never has been.
No, I get that, but I'm not as heavy into.
Jeff isn't either. I'm not going to try to make that argument though.
I'm not heavy into it as you are when it comes to somebody having to be a technical wrestler in order to be that much higher on my list. It's
I mean, it's
people
one
who
of the-
entertain me.
It's a major reason why I like Dolph Ziggler. Like, a lot of people wonder, like, you like Dolph Ziggler, but you don't like Shawn Michaels? I was like, I love his amateur background. Like, because I got into it with Steve, and Steve's like, that doesn't show up. And I'm like, if you know anything about amateur wrestling, the way Dolph carries himself, the way he keeps his hands open, his stances, the way he moves around the ring, he shoots down on one knee a lot. He does tons of amateur stuff just getting around the ring.
He does.
He can't get it out of him, and nor should he. But that's the huge difference. And, again, you got one guy who couldn't whip cream and got beat up by a Marine in real life. And then you got another guy, NCAA champion. I buy one more as a credible physical threat.
I don't disagree.
And that's also a big factor to me. I got to believe you are a physical threat. And I don't mean on me, because that's not saying anything. I mean, I got to believe you're a physical threat in the ring.
To your opponent. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never been, oh crap, Shawn Michaels is mad at you. Like, I've never once thought that. It's like, Vader, you better run. Like, remember the Alamo, Vader? Like, why?
Remember the Alamo.
Like, really? Like, why should he? Like it's Vader. Vader would murder him.
I love Vader, too.
Vader would floss with him. Like, it's not even a contest.
Agreed.
Like, what universe am I supposed to think that was dangerous? Ken Shamrock versus Vader, that I was convinced by.
Yeah.
Granted, it actually was dangerous, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, well,
whatever.
Yeah.
Not the point. But Edge, same thing. Not a physical threat. Edge, I don't see Edge and go, no.
Edge is a lot bigger than...
He's taller, but he's not
He's
not physically imposing.
You're thinking the end of his run where he couldn't work out as much because
At
of his
any
neck.
point.
Yes,
Edge,
he was. Well, especially when he came back from injury, he was huge.
Edge, John Cena. One problem. You could make the argument, some people make the argument that that's probably each other's best feud or most known feud. Whether you agree or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's up there.
It's up there, yeah.
In no universe do I ever think Edge is a physical threat to John Cena.
Oh,
Like, there's no
absolutely.
chance. There's no chance.
Absolutely.
John Cena's gigantic. He would pummel the crap out of Edge.
I don't know. Edge is taller. He's got more reach.
That's it. That's all he's got on him.
And
John Cena is like
bulkier too.
John Cena is superhero sized. Like John Cena can pick up the Big Show for an FU. I'm sorry. Let's not it's John Cena. I can't stress how big John Cena, because I don't think John Cena gets nearly enough credit for
He
his
doesn't.
He's bizarrely anymore.
I shook hands with John Cena
Not
at one
currently,
point,
but
and I Jesus Christ, that guy's got like basketballs on his shoulders.
that's what I'm saying. He is bizarrely. Sting is huge, way bigger than I thought he was. Like, I knew he was big. He was way bigger. I'm like, that is a big dude, and he's like,
Wait, who?
Sting.
Oh yeah.
According to statistics, him and Cena are the same size. Him, and Cena, and Austin, on paper, are all the same exact size.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there's something that doesn't add up.
No, they're not.
But anyway, yeah, Cena is gigantic. There's no universe where John Cena is losing a fight to Edge. They could fight each other 100 times. John Cena will kill him every single time.
Edge is 6'5" and 240. Exactly.
Yeah, he's tall. I don't deny that. I said he was tall. But 240 at 6'5" is a little lean. Cena weighs more than that, and he's 3 inches shorter.
That's because it's all muscle weight.
You're aiding my argument by saying that!
Just because you're muscular doesn't mean you're automatically...
No, but it's a huge... But yeah, it's learning how to fight too. But I'm just saying, Cena outweighs him, and he's shorter.
Kurt Angle weighed less than Cena, and he angled on the Big Show.
First of all, the FU, I'm just saying FU, forget it. The FU is holding them there is much different than doing the ankle slam, first of all. Second of all, Angle's other credibility is he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Same thing I said about Dolph Ziggler, NCAA champion. When Edge has that, then that's a different story. Then I shut up a little bit about it. Shawn Michaels got whooped by a regular guy. I understand he's a Marine, but still. He got whooped by a regular guy, or 8 Marines, depending on who's telling the story.
Exactly. And he was drunk.
That should make you a better fighter, not a worse one.
No, not from my experiences, no.
All right. So, so that's what I'm getting at. Same thing, I love Punk. The reason why I don't want him back at this point is what happened in UFC.
Yeah.
I can't sell that anymore. I understand we all know that wrestling is predetermined. I get it, but I can't work with that. I would still mark out if they did it, but you can't work with that.
I agree.
Same thing, my problem with Ronda Rousey. She got knocked out in a couple of... not knocked out, technical knockout. The referee stopped the fight seconds into the match. She didn't even make a minute of her last fight, and now we're putting her out there Superwoman. It just makes everyone else look terrible.
Because she was so dominant.
She just lost. It's not that she just lost. It was like 48 seconds, dude.
But it's also UFC where one move can win you a fight. You know?
And she was also ducking Chris. I'm just saying there's too many factors going in where I don't mind if she's here, but we can't make her out to be like Superwoman. She isn't. She lost twice, and one of them wasn't even a minute deep into the match.
I can't agree with you there.
But that's how I look at it. Like I said, I love CM Punk, but after that, I cannot sell him anymore. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do. I really wouldn't. I would stare at him and say, what do you want to do? You want to be a manager? Like, I would have to give over. I would have to turn away creative control because I would have nothing. I would just be a blank slate. I don't know what to do with him anymore.
You throw him on the mic and he just becomes credible after about 3 weeks, and that's pretty much it.
You know, my same issue with Brock. It's like we know Brock has been, but Brock, we know has been beaten. That's fine. And then when he came back, all he did was lose. And then all of a sudden now he's invincible. And it's like I don't understand when that happened. It's like we just not because if you look at UFC, he's not undefeated. We look at his time after he came back, not undefeated. So what are we looking at here? Why is he all of a sudden this? But he looks the part, so I understand that to a degree. Goldberg looks the part, so I get that. Meanwhile, Goldberg couldn't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag if you asked him to. But he looked the part, so as long as you don't reveal the wizard behind the curtain, if you don't reveal that, then all of a sudden you can pitch Goldberg as this unstoppable monster, and I understand it. I don't like Goldberg, man. I mean,
I get your point. But all wrestling is about suspending your disbelief.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to work hard to do it. But Ronda Rousey did too, John. I understand that he did win some. I have no problem with him winning. But again, it's just... What? Oh. Wow, Falcon Man. Wow. It's not fair that you're using my Teddy Hart love against me on this one.
Well, goddamn.
Ouch. Oh, man, that's dumb. I'm going to go check in the other room now. You have fun out.
Here's the thing. I get what you're saying, that Roman beating Brock was believable, but Seth beating Brock, I don't agree. Seth is a big dude. Yes, is he as big as Brock? No. But by the same point, we suspended our belief when AJ Styles wrestled him. We suspended our belief when Balor wrestled him. We suspended our belief when Daniel Bryan wrestled him. They have enough skill to get around it. And I completely agree that, Cesaro's ridiculously strong. But that's fine. And David's running... I don't know. I don't like Goldberg. He ended Brett's career and thought Jericho wasn't good enough to work with him. You mean Goldberg wasn't good enough to work with Jericho? Right? Like that's what you're saying. Because if it's the other way around, you're crazy. Oh. 2003's Brock? Meh. I don't know. Maybe Brock? That's hard. Seth is a main eventer because of Triple H. Maybe. That's fine. Everybody's a main eventer because of somebody else. You can't just sit there and say, well, the only reason he's up there is because of Triple H. Most guys are in that position because of Vince. You don't walk in there and say, I want to be champion. You can earn it. Cesaro versus Brock would have been amazing. I agree. And I still think that they missed out on that. I think that when Heyman managed them both, that's the way it should have been. And yes, Damon Thompson, I completely agree. It is about drawing money.
What's about drawing money? On this top because she doesn't draw money. And again, my episode, I did an episode covering celebrities and their ability to draw money statistically. No evidence whatsoever to prove that.
You're still wrong.
Yeah, I know. This thing about math, it's just all bias and not facts. Yeah.
Look at the bottom comment. These are the people you're agreeing with.
He didn't draw it. That's not true. He wasn't a big draw. I know that, but it's not that he didn't draw a dime. That's ridiculous. See, here's the thing. I'm not saying that Ronda and Brock don't draw, but remember, they're also getting massive amounts of paychecks. Like Brock, I don't think justifies his own salary. I think the difference is there.
I don't get that. one of Triple H's golden children.
That's a good point, Harry.
He worked his way up there. He earned it. Rollins earned his way to being. You don't just become a golden child. Yeah, we're talking about Rollins. You don't become the favorite of management because you sucked your entire life.
You know what's a funny thing is Seth Rollins actually didn't get along with Triple H when he first got
hired. Yeah, 100%. Triple H hated him.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting story. Look, I like Seth Rollins. Is he the biggest money draw? No. He goes in the same category as a lot of guys. I think he's good enough. Seth didn't earn a spot. I think he did, but probably later than the people. I like Seth Rollins. Don't get me wrong. I do make fun of him a lot for ripping off New Japan stuff, which he does. A lot of sequences he's put together, he's ripped off from New Japan. But one thing that I look at Seth is he's consistently been, for the past year, I would say, the reason to watch Monday Night Raw.
Agreed.
His match, or even on pay-per-views, was the thing to watch. Regardless of the fact that he might have stolen some of his sequences or borrowed, but everything in wrestling is stolen or borrowed. Look at Hulkamania. Happy. Stolen from Billy Graham, Jesse Ventura, Austin Idol. You happy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give that one to you. But a lot of things are stolen. How about Tanahashi Okada and Nakamura? Yes, absolutely, Roberto Soto. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But nonetheless,
how about Kenta's entire moveset being stolen by everybody in WWE before he got there?
Right. But that's the thing. So I'll give you that. But he was consistently the most enjoyable to watch in the ring for Monday Night Raw, especially during a time when Brock had the belt and wasn't around, or even during other time periods where other guys had the belt. Rollins has been consistently for at least a year. You could even make it even more. Backlash pay-per-view. I was there. Awful. Seth Rollins and The Miz, easily best match on that show.
WrestleMania.
Not even a question. Like, the Rollins-Miz match was probably the only thing to watch.
Base up, you're saying that The Rock drew millions more than Brett. The Rock wasn't the only one. The Rock had Stone Cold Steve Austin there at the exact same time.
I'm not arguing with that, but yeah. Look, but Brett drew enough money. Shawn Michaels did not. It's not even a question because when WCW took over, Shawn Michaels was at the top, and that's exactly what my point is. Tyler, a.k.a. Seth, was pissed about, let's just call him Kobe, Phoenix Splash, and his direction in FCW. Am I correct?
I think
that's understandable, though. I wouldn't hold it against him.
I think he thought a lot more of himself than a lot of other people did.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go out there and change things and do different things differently, and I can respect that to a degree.
Base-up, are you trying to tell me that you think that The Rock is better than Bret Hart? Because you'll never, ever, especially with the two of us here, ever win that argument.
Yeah, Base-up,
ever.
He wouldn't have done as... Look, I don't like using the excuse that a lot of people have, like, they needed this person to get that way, because, yeah, that's always true, that there has to be someone to predate you. And it's also an argument you can't win, because you never know, like, what would happen without him. But Stone Cold and The Rock together were the reasons why they drew as much as they did.
And remember, the company was drawing a lot of money before The Rock even became a main eventer. He was an Intercontinental Champion when Austin was on top.
Austin was definitely a huge draw by himself. We can prove that. And Rock, also when Austin was gone, was a huge draw too. We can't deny that. But
also the knowledge that Austin was coming back at one point, though.
But we never know what it was like if Austin was never a top guy and just The Rock was himself. I do think he would have made money. Don't get me wrong. And I understand that in terms of the greatest money draws of all time, Rock is easily in the conversation. I'll never take that away. But if you want to talk about better wrestler, then it's not just about money. Because in the ring, Rock, not the best technical wrestler in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I don't even like him on the mic as much as everybody does. And that's my thing that I get criticized a lot about. And I like him. I think he's funny. But I need more from you than just humor. I need to know that you can put a guy over with your mic skills. Rock was great at being funny, but it came at the expense of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Rock really wasn't good at putting other talent over.
He never did, except maybe for Austin.
Yeah.
Just think about his... all right, so, for instance, he used to do this thing before the Royal Rumble. The guys, who do you want to see the biggest threat? Crash Holly or Perry Saturn. That was said tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
That makes Crash Holly and Perry Saturn look like crap.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to those two guys because they're putting, busting their asses to do the best they possibly can.
Yeah, and so the thing about The Rock is, and I do think he was very good on the mic. I do think he was funny. But it's an old WCW, NWA, Crockett kind of thing where when you cut your promo work, you never completely crap on the guy you're going against because, A, if you lose, you lost to nothing. And B, you also, if you beat him, who did you beat? You didn't beat anybody because you just said he was nothing. So you can't win. The idea is put your opponent over. You know, you can't put him so over like you're geeking out and fanboying over him.
Hold on. We're not talking about putting over in the ring, AJ, before you're getting really mad about this. We're not talking about putting people over in the ring. We're talking about putting him over on the mic. When he would cut a promo about somebody, he would never tear him down. And he would actually make them look inferior, which is one of those things that Mick Foley writes about in his book, that he got advice from somebody where he was like, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to build me that you're way better than me? Then who did you beat? You're already better than me. But if I beat you, I was the little piece of crap that couldn't scrape the bottom of your shoe. That beat you. Who did Stone Cold put over instead of letting a young guy win? He took his ball and went home. Look, you want to talk about the whole Austin thing? Austin never said he didn't want to put Brock over. He said he didn't want to do it on Raw and wanted to do it on pay-per-view. Austin was also completely burnt out of the business. And he had been at the top for such a long time, been the draw, and was making all this money and was doing all this, working hurt, working stiff, working his ass off more than just about everybody else. And yes, Brett made everybody look good. For everybody who's been saying that, 100%. Daniel, yes, couldn't last 20 minutes in the ring with Brett. Yeah, Davey Boy was on crack, and Bret Hart made him, made him look good. The Rock put over Triple H and Stone Cold. If you ask me, I mean, you can say that. I'll give you that.
Everyone is gone.
Who did he put over? Name one person Stone Cold put over. Triple H. There. You wanted one? There's one.
Yeah.
He put over The Rock. He lost at WrestleMania. I'm trying to think of other people. Awesome. We're talking, because we're talking.
Yeah, again, people forget that putting over doesn't just mean losing to.
Right.
It means beating you puts you at a higher plateau than they were beforehand.
Mick Foley.
Yeah, I was going to say Mick Foley. And Triple H is the big one.
Yep. Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho.
Yes. Yeah, so I say that all the time, but there's countless.
No matter what you say, The Rock putting everyone down was a good thing because WWE drew a lot under him. If you put, no, I'm not saying that it was a bad thing.
As I said, it was funny.
It was fun. It was funny to insult him, but it was also, it's also a little bit counterintuitive.
I didn't say I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I get it. But, it's the same thing with Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura on commentary, people ask me who's better, Jesse Ventura or Bobby the Brain. And to me, it's easily Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain so much.
Put people over with his commentary. There's a way to insult people, but still getting them over. Bobby the Brain made it very clear that he was wrong, or he's a heel, and that his insults were putting people over, or he feared certain people, or he was rightful, like when Roddy Piper was in the ring against Ric Flair, that he would be begging and pleading, no, I hate Roddy Piper, no, he's terrible, no, Piper, don't touch him. He made you really think, oh, wow, Flair's got to worry about Roddy Piper. He's insulting him, yes, but he's getting Piper over.
Right.
And Jesse Ventura just got himself over. And,
yep.
Look, I like Jesse Ventura. Ventura.
And here's
make that clear.
Here's the big thing. Jesse Ventura calling Tito Santana the wrong name. Didn't do anything to put him over.
Right.
But you laugh at it. But when Bobby Heenan would say something like, Tito Santana is trying to make Al Matador is trying to make guacamole out of that guy. But remember, he was a former Intercontinental Champion, Gorilla.
Right. There are ways to get people over, and that's the thing. And I'm not disputing that The Rock did what he did, and I understand the value in it. I also understand that he was very funny, and I enjoyed a lot of those promos too. But he didn't know how to get his talent over as well with mic skills as a lot of other guys do, and that's why I put him. And that's where I put it. I put Joe Gertner very high on the list because I thought he was hysterically funny. And I personally think Gertner is funnier than The Rock. Personally speaking, I think Gertner was funnier than The Rock. That's just my personal taste in humor. And also that he was doing a lot of that shtick before The Rock was. I'll also go there.
Yeah.
But on top of that, he got people over because of Gertner, and I'm a big ECW mark, so maybe you're not. But if you were an ECW mark, in my opinion, Gertner played a huge part in getting the Dudley family over, and I'm not just talking about Bubba Ray.
100%.
So that's my thing. He got that family over, and the Dudleys were pecking order of ECW, one of, if not the highest you can climb levels of ECW, and I think a lot of that has to do with Gertner. So that's
Who did Austin put over on the mic? Mick Foley.
in that case, everybody.
Almost everybody, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Bret Hart. He did a huge his initial feud with Bret Hart was the most fascinating story that you were ever going to get. He came out there talking about Bret Hart, talking smack about Bret Hart, but he said the bottom line was, you ain't done nothing but cry. You're one of the best talents out there, and then you lost, and then you're crying about it. He was getting Bret over in that promo alone. All right?
Who's Becky putting over on the mic right now? Right this second, is Becky putting anybody over on the mic? No. Has she in the past? A bunch of times. And she's also never... and actually, Charlotte... And Ron, she's putting over Ronda too. Yeah. She's insulting her, but she's also saying that she's one of the best.
She told you that if anyone's going to take my spot to go against Ronda, it's got to be you, Charlotte.
Exactly.
She's talking.
That's who they're putting over. And that's why this isn't...
And she also put Asuka over by tapping out to her, too. I mean, I know that's not on the mic, but still. But yeah, it's there you go, Pyro Hunk, you know. So, what's going on? Dave, what video were you just talking about where you ranked Rock at number 10? My top 10 favorite mic workers. But again, it's my favorite. And that's only made because Matty Action asked me to, and I made that video. And I say in that it changes all the time for me. It's hard for me to narrow people down into fixed little positions. But I do put Rock at number 10. And I got tons of crap about it.
And that's fine. Look,
for record, AJ Envoy, I love the word asinine. I think it's funny because it has like ass in it. It makes it sound like you're... I've always liked the word. Anyway. Just like crapulence. It's a good thing, but it sounds terrible.
So this is why it's not an asinine question.
But yeah,
and Tim Castillo, Becky's not putting herself over. We just completely told you how she just put over Ronda and she put over Nia after, she was like, oh yeah, you broke my face. You definitely did it. I'm going to get you back. But you put me out of action.
And that's what we're talking about. There's a way to insult people but still give them a rub, is in industry term. And that's the key. You have to make them a credible threat in some way.
The Rock never put the Hurricane over on the mic. He called him a hamburglar the entire time. Stop. You're based up. If you want, you can make better arguments.
He was nothing.
Yeah, he literally said he was absolutely nothing.
I love that angle, though.
So do I. It was great.
I'm not attacking it, and I'm not saying it's bad. I loved it. I found it very, very funny. But it's just a demerit. I know it's the same thing with Seth Rollins. I enjoy his matches, but I'm also perfectly willing to admit that he steals a lot of his sequences. I have no problem with it, but I'm aware of it. But it is something that's going to keep him from being like my number one or anything like that, because I'm always going to know that. Because if I'm going to give the credit to someone, I'd rather just give it to Tanahashi. It's my thing. Fair enough. So it's like The Rock. Is he very good? Yeah, but I'd rather give the credit to guys who use their mic work to get themselves and someone else over. That's what I'd rather do. That's why I'd rather put Austin in there. And my number one guy was Piper. Spoiler warning. I'm sorry if you didn't see the video and you were playing on it. But my number one is Piper. And here's the thing: when I met Joe Gertner, I told him flat to his face. I said I did a video about my favorite. I told him about my YouTube channel. We were talking, and I said, by the way, great guy. I told him I did a favorite white workers list. I said I'm not going to lie to you. You were only number 2. Number 1 was Piper. And he looked at me and goes, as he should have been. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You should have put Piper 1 over me. That's how this works. And he says, back when I used to tape trade, my number 1 requested thing that I used to get all the time was Piper's Pit. And then we talked about why Piper was great.
Yep.
So Gertner has no problem with it, and Gertner totally down with that. So I want to stress that moment out, as I totally marked out like a sucker on that one.
Hold on. The Hurricane was way more over. Was over when he interacted with The Rock. He wasn't more over after the whole interaction with The Rock. The Rock put him over in the ring? Sure. What did that win do for him? Did he win a singles title after that?
No, but he didn't get a lot over. But that's the thing. I think the match got him over, not the mic work.
Yeah, if anything, it was the match. It was
that's one thing.
And I get, he's saying that, when the Hurricane said something about the Scorpion King and then The Rock reacted or whatever. Yes, I get it.
That was good.
That's fine. He reacted to what Hurricane said, but he basically shit on the Hurricane the entire interaction. Literally said he was nothing.
Yeah, and again, as I'm trying to say, and I cannot stress how much I loved that angle. I thought that feud was amazing.
And believe me, I love again, this is going to make me look like I'm not a fan of The Rock, like it makes me look like I'm not a fan of a lot of other people on here. I loved The Rock.
Right.
I absolutely loved him. He was one of my favorites. He was one of the funniest guys ever. And I get what you're trying to say, AJ. You don't have to put somebody over on the mic and in the match. He put the Hurricane over, but it's not like it wasn't like he put the Hurricane over clean in the middle of the ring. It was outside interference, and he won with a roll-up.
I will never take away The Rock's ability to put people over. I will never, ever take that away from him because he has put a lot of talent over in the ring. In the ring.
Yeah.
But when you ask me about why is Rock on the microphone only number 10, which is how this started, was because, as I said, he wasn't as good at putting people over on the microphone as other people, and it's a skill that I personally value more, and apparently so does Albert.
I agree.
So that's my thing. I was just addressing his ability to put people over on a microphone as a primary criteria to me. Also, when it comes to Bret Hart, why do I like Bret Hart above a lot of other talent? Never seriously injured anyone. Is that something that everybody values as much as I do? No. But I personally take that into a huge consideration, is the fact that Kurt Angle, some people say they like him better in the ring. Well, ask Hardcore Holly's arm. Was that an accident? Do accidents happen? Yeah. But Bret's never done that. So it gives him a point because not injuring people means a lot to me personally. I'm not even asking you to do the same thing. But The Rock not being able to put people on the microphone is something that I do take away from him. You don't have to, but that's how I personally feel.
And basically, I'm not saying that The Rock never put people over on the mic. That's not what I'm saying. But it was a lot more rare than just about everybody else. Just think about all of his classic promos. He made fun of The Undertaker and made fun of his Mickey Mouse tattoos. Everything about the Rikishi wasn't about the fact that he was a big and he was a threat. It was, I did this for The Rock.
Let's just put the game ender right here. Booker T, who are you? Sting doesn't show up to WWE because he says that's how they're treating WCW guys.
Yep.
So let's just put it that way.
And that was The Rock's immediate reaction to people who were legit names. People he was supposed to be working with for a long period of time. Let's forget about Booker T and Jericho. But anybody else, wait, what's your name? It doesn't matter what your name is. That was his gimmick. He didn't even know the people he was working with. That's how beneath...
Treated Foley like that.
Exactly. That's how beneath him he made everybody... He made him feel.
He eventually changed with Foley, but they did start out that way. Let's not forget that. Hurricane versus El Generico. That would be good. But too bad El Generico, the fire and all that.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn maybe, because Sami Zayn, I think their styles are similar.
Yeah, they really are. They really are.
But anyway, yeah, look, I like The Rock. He still made my list, but it's the reason why he's going to be at number 10. And also there are other things, too, that I hold Rock accountable for. I don't think he's best. I think he has a lot of funny lines, but he's not necessarily the guy I would have to convey other emotions or move stories along. I think it's harder when you're The Rock because you're so funny and you're so known for your one-liners and your funny stuff. He's done it. He has done it. I'm not saying he's never had, but if you need to move a storyline forward, sometimes it's harder when you're The Rock because nobody wants The Rock to just stop and get serious. They want him to get there in a funny way. Sometimes that's not easy to do.
And AJ, I understand that his shtick made money. I'm not disagreeing with you there.
I cannot argue that.
That's fine. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is that he didn't. But all right. And more guys got paid because of that. The argument can be made that more guys got paid because Stone Cold Steve Austin was working on top and The Rock happened to come in during a really solid period of time and do his work to work his way up to Austin.
And I'll put it this way. The Rock had 1 million catchphrases, flavor of the month phrases, and he got a t-shirt printed up for all of them. Did they sell? Yes. However, in grand total merchandise sales, he does not top Austin. Austin still tops him. And Austin 316 shirts are still being sold, and they make money today, and they make more money than the only Rock shirt that's still available to Just Bring It shirt, or that's still in relatively popular circulation.
And think about it this way. What was the Rock shirt? It was the Just Bring It shirt.
And that doesn't even come close to the Austin.
That was way after the Rock was already established. Austin 316 was at the height of the craze.
Yeah. So it's Austin easily, to me, has had more lasting impact on that. And it's...
And again, we're not talking...
He's still on my list. Like, I cannot stress that enough. He's still on my list.
But there are reasons why he's not as high as on our lists as he would be on everybody else's.
Thank you, Tim Castillo. Yes, that's how I feel too. Like Austin drove stories forwards with it. He would insult, but he would put guys over on the microphone. He's said it before. Like he even said on the microphone that Triple H, as much as I hate to admit it, he is a very particular opponent that's dangerous.
Right. Undertaker, Mick Foley, or Drew Love, you may be one of the toughest sons of bitches in the ring, but you're about to step into the ring with the toughest son of a bitch.
Right.
That was the thing.
Exactly.
Austin would preface the idea of saying that he was going to beat you by putting you over and saying that you were really good. And it's the point that I had made, that Mick Foley had made in this book. When you talk crap about somebody and you say that they're absolutely nothing, who did you beat? You beat a nothing. Yeah, but if that nothing beat you, you look the worst.
But there's also a key difference here we need to remember, because Austin, Foley, they were WCW guys. Rock was not.
That's right.
This is an old WCW, NWA, Jim Crockett.
I believe that the advice came from Michael Hayes, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and who's been involved in the industry. So, but the whole thing, but it wasn't unique to him only. There were a lot of other people who feel that way too. I think Sabisco would even. I'm not saying he came up with it, but Sabisco would subscribe to that idea. Or there were several other guys, like Arn. Arn was a big believer of that too.
Ric Flair put his opponents over all the time.
But you ain't the champ.
Right. Sting, you may be great, but you ain't the champ.
No! Right. There's a lot of people who did that, but that's an old WCW thing, where WWF, and I'm not saying everybody in WWF was like this, but in WWE, homegrown guys don't necessarily have that mentality, or it's not something they stress as much, because WWE, for the most part, tends to value over bravado, over confidence, even in mic work. So there's something that's out there. I think it kind of balances out. The Rock put people over in the ring more, and Austin put people over on the mic more. I wouldn't say that.
I agree.
The Rock might have put more people over in the ring, but I think it's by a hair.
Yeah, it's not as much as you're making it out to seem. And again, beating, always winning doesn't mean you're not putting somebody else over. Yeah, there are guys whose career gets on an upward trajectory after they were involved with the champ.
Yeah, and The Rock undoubtedly was over more because he interacted with Austin in the Intercontinental era, as well as the world title scene. Austin was the reason The Rock got there.
Right.
Foley was the reason that Austin got there, even though Austin never lost to him. There are plenty of examples of guys who still won, but got the big and I'm not saying Austin was the only reason, because the biggest example I can give is Undertaker and Foley in the Hell in a Cell, because Undertaker won that match. But Foley got over to a new level never before seen because of that match. So putting someone over does not mean you have to lose to them. You can win and still put somebody over. And by far, you can't argue the Mankind thing.
Okay, AJ, you said he helped Jericho, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Booker T. Austin also lost to Jericho.
Except
Goldberg and
Lesnar. Goldberg and Lesnar.
But yeah, he lost to Jericho. He lost to Angle. He lost to Booker T. He lost to a lot of guys. He lost to Undertaker. He lost to Kane.
And again, it's not about losing, because here's the part that we want to put out there, that Rock verbally took a dump on Booker T, which made Sting not sign with WWE. So we'll just talk about that right there. That's my number one hallmark of what The Rock's mic skills, particular brand of mic work, cost me. So I'll start there. Also on the fact that you guys like it, but that Stone Cold Booker T grocery store segment, you guys love that. So that's an example of Austin doing work with Booker that got him over to you people. I think it's dumb, but some of you guys like it.
And it really helped Booker T evolve to the next level of being like a little bit more comedic with everything he did. So it made, I get you don't like it, but it did help him. It did, and it helped him more than than Rock, because I'll never remember Booker T beating The Rock. And the other part, you want to know what I remember about The Rock versus Booker T? Who was the president? I'm sorry, wait. What's 2 plus 2? Thomas Jefferson, sucker. That's the only thing I remember about The Rock and Booker T. That's it.
Champion sucker? The WCW champion sucker? That's all he kept calling him.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho, yes, Austin did put them over.
Yeah.
Angle by far put him over. He tapped to Angle, for crying out loud.
Oh, and by the way, we talk about how Austin never put Foley over, but he really did at SummerSlam.
That's what I'm saying. But also, but Mankind's major title shots all happened with Austin.
Right.
So that's my
until he won the belt with The Rock. That was it. Yeah. It was because of those big
he had title shots with Shawn Michaels too. But I think when Foley was really established in the main event scene, or at least there was when he was the corporate dude with McMahon, going against Austin in this series of matches.
AJ, I think you're missing the
would
point.
Would you like to rank Jericho and Punk in the Mike Royals? I did. They were on my list. They were both on my list.
But AJ, the point is that he said he's not blaming that on Sting. If Sting wanted to sign, he could have.
I understand that.
But you have to understand that that's the way he felt like these guys were being treated, and Vince was going to be like, well, if I walk in there...
Angle beat Jinder. At least Angle can win something still.
That The Rock putting people over on the mic and losing a lot more would have hurt the business.
First of all, again,
The Rock putting people over on the mic more would not have hurt the business.
Yeah.
Losing in the ring.
That is the first of all. That wasn't what I was going to lead with, but that is actually first of all.
Losing in the ring, it would have hurt The Rock's character. It wouldn't have hurt the business.
It depends on who he lost to.
And here's the big thing about The Rock. The Rock is one of those characters where we're really establishing that he's not putting people over on the mic. When he loses, the next night he can go there and just say 3 funny lines and bam, he's right back on top.
I also want to throw this again. Again, I cannot stress enough, AJ Envoy, this has to do with why The Rock was simply number 10 and not number 1 on my personal list. That's where this all started from. No one's making these arguments about business. But if we want to talk about business, a lot of people give Austin crap, about not losing to Brock Lesnar on the way out. First of all, Austin was right in terms of money making. No, it is a money match. We'll start there. Number 1.
I said the exact same thing because he brought this up before.
We'll start there.
And I said, I never said he wouldn't put over Brock. He just didn't want to do it on Raw. He wanted to do it when it made money.
But if we're going to go that route, also remember that the only guy that who did Rock really put over on his way out? The one guy was Goldberg, and Goldberg didn't even make it made it only one more year until he was gone too.
I mean, you can make the argument that
on the way out,
right? Because you can make the argument that he put over Brock, but guess what? He put Brock over on pay-per-view.
I'm just saying, on The Rock's way out, before he will have to become an actor, he didn't really run. He didn't put fine, Brock, but that happened before. I'm talking about his last run.
No, I'm just saying he beat Austin. That's the whole big thing is
he beat Austin. He let Goldberg win,
right?
But Goldberg wasn't even a worthwhile endeavor on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if Austin did put over Brock, he would have at least scored a couple of more years. But still, ultimately, it wasn't passing the torch to the right guy,
right?
So I'm just saying, while there is a difference, Rock's full-time exit, really didn't amount to much. He beat Punk. He beat Punk.
Yeah, came back, and that's the other thing. We're talking about what's good for business. We're not taking into account the fact that a lot of the look at the Universal title. It's older guys coming back for another run, and they're getting titles.
Where did you put them, Dave?
I think he's talking about Punk and Jericho.
Honestly, I don't remember. I think Punk and Jericho were both in the top 5. But I say in the beginning of the video that the order you could probably swap around. You could get me to say something different depending on what mood you catch me or what promo you just show me. Flair was on the list too. Jericho was on the list too. Bobby the Brain was on the list. Austin was on the list. I was this close to putting Jay Lethal on the list. I really like Jay Lethal on the mic a lot.
Yeah. Guys, and not even just Jay Lethal doing Macho Man and Ric Flair shtick. Jay Lethal, period.
Yeah. No, I like Jay Lethal on the microphone a lot, and it kind of broke my heart that I didn't put him on the list. Hulk Hogan I put on the list. Dusty Rhodes I put on the list because, and a big reason why I put Dusty on the list was because a lot of younger guys might not value Dusty as much, but Dusty by far is a promo. I wanted to put on the list too, but I couldn't. It broke my heart. There were certain guys that just didn't put on the list. But Dusty I wanted to put on the list for sure because of his mentorship ability with training and personality for NXT. He was so good he could forget just his mic ability alone, but his ability to help train others and teach others made him part of the list. Ric Flair, train and put other people on the list. The Rock, and I'm not holding this against you, it's a point you're not getting, but you don't lose any points for it, but The Rock didn't stick around to teach people, because NXT, now that Dusty's unfortunately gone, Ric Flair's not around all the time, who is there, I've been asking this, who is their mic guy? Who do they have teaching personality? Well, the guys that it should be right now are like The Rock and Austin, and they're not there.
Right, I mean, you can
argue, say whatever you want about it.
You can argue a guy like the Road Dogg maybe,
that's slim pickings, because the Flairs and the Dusties were the people who's supposed to teach mic work to the next generation. That next generation that they taught, those guys are Austin and The Rock, and they're not around.
And they're not around to coach these guys. Who is the promo coach down there?
I don't think.
Because I hope it's not Matt Bloom or Shawn Michaels. Because, and I'm not saying Shawn. Look, I know Dave, you don't like Shawn at all. Shawn's strong point was that it was more in the ring than it was on the mic. Could Shawn drive a story? Sure. Could he go out there and put a microphone in his hand? You can trust him enough to get to where he needed to go? Sure. But he wasn't the greatest guy on the mic ever. I mean, maybe Triple H.
Cena, I wouldn't put Triple H there.
No, I'm saying Triple H.
I know.
Training them in NXT.
I know, but no, I wouldn't. If John Cena was around, I would like it if it was Cena. Say what you want about John Cena. He is capable of mic work.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like Arn is also underrated. Yeah. Goldberg was good in short segments. They knew how to capitalize on them. Yeah, if you use Goldberg right, he does have he can be very, very good for you. I will never deny that. But I'm also a guy who doesn't think that you need to talk either. But I'm not going to put you on mic work. It's like Benoit. Benoit, don't talk. Shut up.
Yeah, just go in the ring and rip people's arms off. Fine. Yeah. That's what you do.
Right.
And I agree with that. Not everybody has to be the best talker in the world in order to be a top guy.
My best example is Tajiri. I mean, Tajiri was super over. He didn't have to talk. So yeah, I think that's a lot. Nakamura, what I think I like about Nakamura mic work is that I don't know why I find it extremely entertaining when he's out of breath after matches.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's like he's selling so hard.
That's a New Japan.
Nobody does it like Nakamura.
No, I'm just saying, but that's a thing that they do in New Japan. The ice on the back of the neck after the match.
He looks like he's like.
But Nakamura was
better than anybody.
Nakamura's the best.
I don't even care what he says. I'm so vested in.
Yeah,
because he's putting over. I had to work this hard where I'm exhausted. I gave everything I had.
I can't even speak right now.
To put the guy I just wrestled over. I won. But this is how tired I am.
Right.
Like that's an example of what I'm talking about again of how you put people over. And it's just subtle things like that. They need more managers, to be honest. Not necessarily arguing that.
I mean, Adrian, I'm not disagreeing with you. I do believe managers would be beneficial. But
I love his mic work.
What I don't agree with you with is the fact that he said that they don't cut promos like they used to, so there's no need for the promo guys. Yes, there is. There absolutely is, because Vince only likes guys who are complete players. If you can't really talk well on the mic or at least drive a point home enough, you usually get pushed back, a little bit further. That's why Cena got a lot further in his career, because Cena could cut a great promo. And it wasn't just about the way he worked in the ring, it was that he was a good character.
No, yes, it looks fine.
It does. I know what you're going to say. I know that Roman's the exception.
At my shoulder.
Roman's the exception to the rule in this scenario. Yeah. Roman got pushed before he was great on the mic, and that's fine. In all honesty, Roman would be great if he just sat there and said, okay, that's great. You may be really good, but just know you're going to step in the ring with the big dog, and I'm going to give you everything I got, and at the end, I'm going to be the one who's going to beat you. That's all I need from Roman.
Minimalistic.
Yeah, that's all I need.
One that I actually liked from Roman that I thought was a good move is when he was going against, I didn't like the outcome, but when him and Finn Balor were going at it, and then Finn Balor talked about the luck of the Irish, and then Roman just goes, I don't need luck, I'm Samoan, and then left. I was like,
yeah,
do that more often. I was like, yeah, talk like that, just shut up and just do that and just go away. And that worked. I was like, that was good mic work from him. That was the best. That was probably the best thing he ever said on the mic. And the thing is, I make fun of it a lot, to suffer and suck attach. I understand it was a mistake. I understood. I get it. Hey, let's make it a cute and funny phrase. Forgetting the fact that you see this guy cute and cuddly is not.
Yeah.
Don't go with him. They didn't process that well. Certain guys can pull it off. Certain guys can't. You can't give him a Winnie the Pooh quote and expect that guy to get it. Same thing with Kevin Owens. I couldn't give Kevin Owens a Tweety Bird quote and expect that to work. Then again, maybe he
Kevin Owens probably
he might be able to put it over. Maybe that was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. You could probably turn anything to gold. Maybe Sami Zayn might be a better example of not being able to make that work.
But that's my point. So there's certain things, but I understand why they did it. I wouldn't have myself, but I get it.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, the booking of Roman could have just been, they could have circumvented a lot of things by changing very minimal things, and they could have put him, he would be in a much better position right now.
But I also think in today's market, again, like Sublime the Man, with today's market and all the available types of wrestling they have out there and what the people are demanding, you should adjust accordingly and be a little more reflective. And with that being said, there were other options you could have vouched for. No, I mean they don't think they need promo guys. I know they need promo guys.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is that WWE aren't going for promos, which is why they don't think they need them. Yeah, I hear that, because WWE said, has this mentality of whatever we do is the correct move. And it's like, CM Punk is the future. CM Punk is great. We love CM Punk. Hey, I'm leaving. screw CM Punk, we never needed him in the first place. Like, that is how they react.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, WWE permanently suffers from jilted lover syndrome.
Oh, 100%.
That I am definitely with him on.
I'll give you that. But that's how you have to be in a business. You know, you gotta take your lumps and move on. You know, I mean, Punk didn't want to stay, so he didn't stay. That's it.
No, you don't take your lumps, but I feel like you know where your Cena is underrated, to be honest. Okay, DeJarn said, I think you need to know. I think there's nothing wrong with honesty. I think you need to know what the situation is. That Punk was, they may not feel this way, but Punk was a very big solution to a lot of the problems. Punk wasn't necessarily the biggest money draw,
right?
But he could have been, and they didn't do him right. But if they did, they would have had a lot of things solved. He got me invested in wrestling like there was no tomorrow. He was bringing back some old fans that had been jaded with the business. He captivates the indie market, and there were a lot of casual fans who didn't mind him either.
I have a friend who is like the definition of a casual fan. Who that's what got him. Like he really wasn't a big fan back in the day. I showed him that Punk promo. He started watching Raw after that,
and that's kind of.
And he fell off here and there from there on, but it was Punk that got him back in.
Yeah, Punk the same thing too. I was really fed up with wrestling, like before the pipe bomb, and the reason why because the pipe bomb spoke to us. It was everything that was frustrating. And you were like, whoa, it's not just me who thinks this. Yeah. And almost, I wish someone would do that kind of thing now.
They tried to do that with Rollins a couple months ago, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, they did, but I mean, it's not the same.
And you
probably can't do it again.
And in all honesty, the guy who can do it right now is Ambrose. And the reason I say it is just strictly on the fact of everybody, all the smart marks here are saying, he's leaving. It's because we're informed. I'm saying that's derogatory, including us. We're informed enough to know that we went on the website and we've seen all these backstage things. Dean Ambrose is not re-signing with the WWE. Whether or not that's a work, I believe it is a work, but that's the perfect guy to do this with. Another guy that's on his way out. That,
I love him on the mic, and I hear you on that. I just don't know that in the ring he's capable of captivating people. Unless, if this is a work and this is their way of getting him there, good for them.
That's what I think it is. I really do. I really do.
All right, man.
Yeah, I think it's about that time. Yeah.
I will say this is a fascinating show.
It's over 3 hours that we did this.
Yeah, man. My Friday shows have gotten long too. But yeah. So, but yeah, this is great. And hey, I definitely like the feedback. I love the conversations with you guys. AJ Envoy, for sure. I love hearing your point of view and the different things. Cannot stress this enough. Base Up, thank you, Base Up, for all the super chats. The Woos, thank you for the super chat, and also Lightning Blitz, thank you for the super chat. Seriously, this channel needs to get. I'm very happy to keep it going, and it's because of you guys that it keeps going. So thank you so much. And Albert, where can they find more of you?
Oh yeah, please YouTube on YouTube, the Slam Sessions. Type it in. Honestly, if you type in the Slam Sessions and type in AEW after that, because I did a video about them, it comes right up.
AG Envoy, you can also check me out tomorrow. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow on Dave Knows Comics. So you can so if you really have a lot to say, we can also talk there. I'm going to try to come on. I've been trying not to interfere with Brian Zane, so I don't know when to come on. I might come on a little bit later. I might come on earlier. I don't know. But yeah, I'll try to come on. I'm coming on tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to come on yet. But either way, keep the notification on Dave Knows Comics and let me know. But hey, seriously, thank you guys. Thank you for everything. Again, Base Up, Lightning Blitz, The Woos, thank you for the super chats. Seriously.
Thank you for all you guys who followed.
And follow Albert. Check Albert out for sure.
Appreciate that.
Also check out the Discord. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, Dave Knows.